Ladies and gentlemen, episode number 697. We are live here on Twitch TV, and that means one thing and one thing only. It is time for Wrestle Wars Genesis, and this is the final pit stop before the next big SPV for TWA. TWA's Glory Road is coming up right around the corner. As a matter of fact, it'll be this Sunday afternoon, and you don't want to miss that because it is going to be a spectacle and a thrill ride all mixed into one. Championship matches all show long. The best of the very best will be there. You want to be there too. But we have a great 9-match card today. We have 4 championships on the line, and we've got some fantastic featured matches. Of course, we're going to continue faction wars and the tag team rivalries, and there's been so much going on over the last couple of months, and it has been absolutely epic. So we are going to add some more fuel to the fire today before we get to this weekend's Glory Road. But before we get to any of that, we of course have Luke the Gooner 94, also known now as Hardcore Country Luke, and I'm actually starting to like the Hardcore Country Luke thing, actually, to be fair, Luke. I think I like it.
I am as well, actually.
Yeah. I mean, it took some getting used to, I'm not gonna lie, right? I didn't hate it. Never hated it. I thought it was...
It's always good with it, because I've had the for so long. I
thought it was a good name, good choice. It's too bad that that incident happened, but it might be for the better, because I actually now think Hardcore Country Luke sounds better than Luke the Gooner.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm starting to think that as well.
Yeah. So I think that was it was a weird happening how it happened, right? But at the end of the day, it benefits. It benefits, and it works, and it's kind of cool.
Luke the Gunner wasn't working. That was not a good choice.
No. Well, I mean,
it just felt weird. But
well, especially now that you like the new name, right? So it kind of in hindsight, you're like, why did I ever use that name? But
yeah.
Every once in a while, I still want to call you Luke the Gooner 94 just because it's ingrained in my brain. But I like the Hardcore Country Luke thing. I'm glad that went down well. So,
you still call me Gooner. I'll still respond to you.
See now, Moon Raider.
That's always going to be my nickname. That.
Are you here, Moon Raider? Or are you MIA at the moment? Is he MIA at the moment? I don't know. He might be. He's probably fucking playing Fortnite. Crazy fucking Brit. I don't know. Is he live? I don't think Moon Raider's live, is he? I don't know. I do not know. We could check. I do have to pull up my chat room and everything anyway, so ooh, Yadin is live. Yadin RMP's live playing Sea of Stars. Anyways.
But yeah. The game's really good.
No, Moon Raider's not live.
I'm really liking it, man.
If Moon was live, he'd either be at the bottom of my screen or at the top when you first come into the channel, because I have him auto-hosted. So when he goes live and you come into my channel, you'll see his stream. Whatever it is he's playing. Usually, like lately, it's been a lot of Fortnite. How dare he, by the way. How fucking dare he play Fortnite all the time. Ghastly. But anyways, yeah, while I'm here, I'm going to pull up my chat room. Actually, it wouldn't be coming up at the top of my screen right now that I think about it, because we're live, so it's the live show that comes up at the top of the screen when you enter the channel. But normally, when we're not live, it'll show whoever I have for recommended channels and streamers. So, and of course, Moon Raider, you're one of them, obviously, so you get auto-hosted a lot. So people that come into the channel to check out the channel or to click on a VOD, they see you live if you're live, so it's nice. Moon Raider's not here. That's too bad, because we talked a little bit about it on TWA Underground, but we didn't get to get Moon Raider's opinion on the Arsenal-Chelsea game. The Arsenal-Chelsea game. I kind of wanted to bring that up, and because we never did get to talk to him, because he disappeared, remember? As usual, he's here, but he's MIA, missing in action. He does that a lot to us. That's just rude. How dare he?
You see my notifications? I was up to some late night streaming shenanigans. I'll have to tell people about that.
But yeah, so of course, Team Arsenal beat Chelsea 2-1 in that game, which of course gave them a 5-point spread again over Man City. Now, did Man City play recently? Like, are they back within 2 again? Or are
they both play the same. They both, Arsenal and Man City both play at the same time tomorrow.
Oh wow. Okay, so
That's actually pretty interesting, to be honest.
that is very interesting, very intriguing,
Very
for that
interesting.
matter.
They're not playing against each other. They're playing different teams.
So wait a
Still
minute.
playing at the same time.
Who is Man City playing?
Nottingham Forest.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, I fucking hate that, man.
Well, let's hope that Nottingham.
They've got Nottingham Forest, and then they've got fucking West Ham United after that.
Well, let's yeah. And you know they're going to beat.
Yeah, most likely. Yeah.
Most likely both. Let's hope they draw against Nottingham Forest. Let's hope Nottingham Forest pulls a Wolves and has a good game.
Well,
I'm not saying they're going to.
When a team's fighting for relegation, they want to try, right? So it's possible to get something. Right?
And sometimes when you're at the top of the food chain, sometimes when you're at the top of the food chain and you're at the top of the league, you get a little bit lazy too because you think, "Wow, we're winning the season." But those bottom teams are still fighting for better positioning in the rankings, and you know what I mean.
Playing the bottom teams is not necessarily always easy. Like, look, Leeds United played fucking Man City a good fucking game.
Yeah.
They could have scored. If they had scored the chances, they might walk away with a fucking point or fucking something like that. I didn't think Man City looked that good in that game, mate. When I watched, I was like, Leeds are all over these. The defense looks shaky. I don't know, like.
But I would like to see Nottingham Forest pull a Wolves and do something. You know, I'm not saying they're going to beat Man City, but at least draw them. Draw them for us. That would be perfect. And of course, Arsenal will win. So that's an extra 3 points, and that would give them an 8-point spread, 7-point spread on Man City. If they can draw against one of those teams, they can end up 7 points ahead. Because I don't expect Arsenal to draw or lose in the next game. So.
Well, Arsenal play Brighton away. Brighton are not an easy team, but.
No, but they're not going to beat Arsenal. Arsenal right now is worried about Man City. They're going to play hard. Yeah. They're going to come out strong. I wouldn't be surprised if they score at least, one goal within the first half of the first half. For that matter, I think they're going to come out strong because they know Man City's also playing.
That's what I mean, yeah.
So it's going to be very interesting.
What does that mindset go into as a player, or do you worry? Do you worry about? Do you think about the other game, or not? Or do you just give your own thing, go out there and do your own thing?
You do both, because worrying about what Man City's doing might drive them to play harder, because they don't want Man City catching up in points. They don't want to have a more difficult.
Playing exactly the same.
Right. Not to mention they play Man City soon. So they want to keep those, So there's that too, right? But yeah, I'm hoping Nottingham Forest at least somehow draws. They're playing West Ham after that, or Fulham?
If you are a football fan and you're neutral, you don't care who wins either Premier League title. Man City Arsenal is the game for you to watch.
Yeah, for sure.
Very fucking interesting.
It's going to be. It will be interesting. I think the entire league will be watching that game. All eyes will be on.
So?
Well, because we're only 9 games away from the end of the season, and
that's what I mean. I think
they're the two top teams. People are going to watch. They're going to want to see, because whoever wins that game most likely wins the league this year.
Most likely will win the league.
Yeah, I think. Anyways, that's why I'm hoping that Man City has a draw there somewhere, because it gives Arsenal a bigger spread and a little more comfort zone.
What happens if both teams draw though against each other? Like, what happens then?
That's a good fucking question. Has that ever happened?
That could happen, man. Arsenal might try and just defend and play for a draw, and then they might just beat the other teams and win a league.
Has it ever happened where two teams had the same amount of points at the end of a season?
Yeah, but it goes down to goal difference.
So if that were to happen, Arsenal would still win.
Man City, Man United had the same goal difference, right?
And goals against?
Man City scored with about 5 seconds left of the game to win the title. Yeah. Man United thought they had it, and all the fans were just celebrating happy, and all of a sudden they had Man City scored, and they were fucking devastated.
Yeah.
That must be heartbreaking.
So is it just goals, or do they consider all the stats, like goals against, all that stuff?
Like goals, I think it's goals against and goal difference and stuff like that. It goes down to that, same points.
Because Arsenal's doing well in both of those departments. They have the least goals against.
City got a better goal difference, or we got a better goal difference?
Well, let's have a look. Actually, I have it right in front of me.
That.
So Arsenal has, in 29 games, they've only allowed 22 goals. That's the best in the league. Only by 3, but it's the best in the league. They're also by 1 leading in goals for. They have 58 goals, and Man City has 57. However, Arsenal's played 29 games. Man City's only played 28. So there's that too. But right now, they have a 5-point spread on Man City. Arsenal has 64 points. Man City has 59. And everybody else, it'd be a miracle for them to catch either of them. So you've got top 5 right now. Oh, I see. I see Liverpool knocked Chelsea out of the top 5 again. They have a 3-point spread on Chelsea right now. They jumped into the top 5.
Top 4 race is getting very interesting, actually.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And Aston Villa's had quite the, because they didn't do as well in the beginning of the season, but the last bit of the season there, man, they've been pouring it on, kind of. Interesting. And Man United, I mean, it's no surprise to see them in the top 4.
No, they've been playing well.
Yeah.
Got rid of the manager.
But look at the poor Wolves. After 29 games, only two wins still.
It's
2 wins.
Shocking. It's still really bad.
It's shocking that they have those 2 wins. I mean,
let's have a look at that. Let's have a look at that bottom. Let's have a look at that bottom table though. Like you've got Wolves, Burnley. That's basically 2 already relegated, pretty much.
Who does Man?
We're just waiting on that. Who's going to get relegated? Nottingham Forest, West Ham, and it looks like Tottenham Hotspur.
Who does?
3 of those things.
Who does Man City play after Nottingham Forest? Is it West Ham or Fulham?
It's West Ham.
West Ham, okay.
It's another fucking bottom team. It annoys me that they've got 2 bottom.
Well, yeah,
teams
they're sitting in like 18th spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, with what, 17 points? Or no, 19 points, I think. Yeah, they have 19 points, but. Or wait, no, sorry, that's Burnley. They have 25 points.
I posted it. I did post it in Discord. The remaining games of both teams.
Nottingham Forest has 27. Tottenham has 29. Leeds United with 31. Crystal Palace 35. Newcastle has 36. Sunderland with 37. Brighton also with 37. Bournemouth has 39. Fulham has 40. Everton has 40. Brentford with 43. Chelsea's only 2 points ahead of Brentford with 45. And then 5th spot is Liverpool with 48. And then it jumps up with Aston Villa's 51. Actually, Man United and Aston Villa are tied with 51 points. But then Man City and Arsenal sitting at the top with, I mean, Man City has an 8-point spread over Man United and Aston Villa. And Arsenal has an even bigger lead over them because they're.
Yeah, fucking miracle. One of those teams that catch up, man.
Arsenal has a 13-point spread over, like, Man United and Aston Villa. So, yeah.
Yeah, I can't see that's not going to happen. Obviously, come on.
No, it's definitely coming down to Man City and Arsenal, for sure.
I think both teams will win though. Like, midweek.
Did you enjoy the Arsenal and Chelsea game, or was it just too intense and you just kind of watched it for the sake of watching it type of thing?
These matches are getting really intense, like watching them.
Yeah.
Like more than like kind of like enjoying them, but at the same time, like it's still like exciting. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's still, I don't know. It's a bit of both. It's bit of both. Like,
well, that's why I want to know what Moonrader's opinion on the game was, and if he enjoyed the game or.
He isn't. He's not a pressure to win a league. His team's not under pressure to win a league.
No.
Right?
No.
He's top four. He's top four. I mean, you can get some sort of pressure to that, but it's like.
He's not. They're in 6th.
Oh, stick.
Yeah.
How many points off the top 4 spot?
They need Aston Villa and Man United are tied with 51, but Aston Villa's sitting in 4th spot. So Chelsea needs 6 points. They need 2 wins and Aston Villa to get 2 losses to catch them.
I think it might stay how it is though, the top 4. I think Man United and Aston Villa might get top 4. I think that's what it'd be. Liverpool's
the closest to Aston Villa. They're only 3 points off.
Liverpool could get top 4 over Man United, couldn't they?
Yeah.
Winning games. I would rather Liverpool get top 4 over Man United, but that's me. But I think Man United will get it.
Yeah. Yep. All right, well, we have lots to talk about, and we may as well get the show on the go, though. Get some of these epic matches underway, because it is going to be a fire show. 4 championships on the line. Continuation of faction wars and tag team rivalries. I mean, we are just around the corner from Glory Road. So I'm interested to see what takes place today on Wrestle Wars Genesis. So I want to get the show on the go, if you will, before we get to our next conversation. So let's get to our tone setter of the day, shall we? Here we go. And opening up the show, it is a 6-man tag team matchup. It is Phenomenal Soul taking on TDL. We've got CM Punk, Ricky Saints, and of course the leader of the pack, the Phenom Joe Lincoln, taking on Eric Dangerous, Mufasa, and RVD. It should be a very interesting matchup. Of course, Phenomenal Soul just trying to get back into that championship picture. TDL would like to keep them down where they are in the rankings. What shall happen? What kind of mindset do they have? They just lost their TWA Underground World Tag Team Championships on, I believe that was that Sunday, Luke? It was Sunday, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Sunday. At TWA Underground, yeah. Lost them to Team Chelsea. Team Chelsea now holding, they all have championships, because Moondust has been able to retain his TWA Speed Championship more than once. So he's the reigning defending TWA Speed Champion. And now Kenny Omega and Oba Femi are the TWA Underground World Tag Team Champions. That one shocked me too, because TDL was kind of stomping a mud hole and walking a dry in the beginning of that match. But just around the halfway mark, maybe a bit before that, but like Omega and Oba Femi just kind of turned things around and never looked back. I was so shocked. They picked up the next fall. It was, 1-1 draw. It was a long match too. It was a very, very good match. Those two teams are definitely going to have to run it back. Definitely going to have to run it back. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But here we go. Tone setter of the day. Phenomenal Soul versus TDL. Let's turn and burn. Or turn, burn, and belch. We could do that too. We could do that too.
It wouldn't be the Archverse to do that.
It wouldn't be the Archverse. Wouldn't be TWA. Without a belch from Luke the Gooner, or Hardcore Country at Luke. That does happen. Oh, that's right, CM. I don't know how I didn't really forget. He won it in the main event, but CM Punk became the TWA Andre the Giant Battle Royal Champion. I know, so did I. I don't know how. Like I said, it was the main event, but... Could you imagine? That's the only reason Joe hired CM Punk, was to keep ribbing Glenola. Especially because, Phenomenal Soul and the Wolfpack tend to fight a lot. Not as much this season as previous, but, I'm sure it'll happen again. Waiting on TDL. TDL are still holding. Wait a minute. That's right. Mufasa's the submission champion. But they're also holding the TWA World Tag Team Championships and the TWA Speed Tag Team Championships. They became Grand Slam champions. Eric Dangerous, I believe, is the TWA $1 Million champion as well. Mufasa, of course, became a Grand Slam champion first. Eric Dangerous joined him in the Hall of Legendary Accomplishments. Punk and Mufasa starting things off here. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I personally think, again, because they're the two top teams in the league, I think basically all eyes are going to be on that Arsenal-Man City game. It's not going to matter. Yeah, it's not going to matter what team they support. It just is what it is. You watch the two top teams in the league. If you got in any sport, if you got the two top baseball teams, if you got the two top NFL teams, you get two top boxers, MMA, you're gonna watch it, right? You're curious. You want to know what happened between the two best, whether it be just the best of that season or the best for the last few seasons. Speaking of the best of the last few seasons, I'm absolutely shocked that the Florida Panthers have they won back-to-back Stanley Cups, and now they're struggling to win. It's like they lost their drive. I don't know. No, they're not at all. We'll check that out in a few moments, but I'm pretty sure that they're not. Are they even playoff contention? I don't know. I'd have to check. I know you have to be top 4 of your division. Each division. Yeah.
I haven't looked at it.
No, well, I'll have a look here in a few moments actually, because I'm sure we'll.
That's similar to Liverpool in the Premier League last year.
Yeah, they're sitting in 5th. Yeah. Now, to be fair, hockey's one of those sports that things can turn around in the blink of an eye. It's so high octane and fast paced, and yeah. It's such a fun game to. It's just a fun game to watch, you know. It's just a fun game to watch. I'm just having a look. So the Florida Panthers, who are the defending 2-time Stanley Cup champions, they're in last place in their division. They're doing worse than the. Yeah, they're a point behind the Maple Leafs, man. I don't know. The Tampa Bay Lightning, the other Florida team, are the ones winning this year. They're sitting with 80 points. They've played 58 games. They have 38 wins, 16 losses, and 4 overtime losses. So they have 80 points, and they have 209 goals for. 209. That's impressive. That is impressive. The Montreal Canadiens are doing pretty good. The Detroit Red Wings are 3rd in the division, so, you know. Now they still have, 19 games left of the season, I think. So, you know, there's still a lot that can happen, but it looks like the Red Wings and the Montreal Canadiens, Buffalo Sabres, and the Tampa Bay Lightning will be the top 4 in that division. And you got the Carolina Hurricanes. They're doing really well this season, too. Pittsburgh made a bit of a comeback because they were doing kind of poor in the first part of the season.
I want to know what's happened to the Florida Panthers.
Oh, I know. I don't know. I don't know how you go from back-to-back Stanley Cups to the bottom of your division. Literally. You know, I'm not even, elaborating or exaggerating. They're last in their division. It's weird, but Hurricanes, though, they have the pretty much the same record as the Lightning, except for they have a couple more overtime losses. There's 38-16 with 6 overtime losses, and they've played 60 games. Lightning have only played 58, so they're actually 2 games behind the Hurricanes as far as that goes. Pittsburgh is tied with the Islanders for third or for second spot, really. But Penguins have more goals and other such things. So, and they've played 2 games less than the Islanders, so that's why they're sitting in second. It's interesting. And the Washington Capitals are the 4th, so that's the Metropolitan Division.
That's still like the South Coast Division.
Yeah. I'm actually switching over to the Western Conference now. Avalanche are, damn, they've only had 10 losses all season. They've only allowed 148 goals, and they've scored 225 goals in 59 games. That's incredible. 89 points. And they've only played 59 of the 80 games. So,
they might win that. They might be. That's definitely someone. That sounds scary.
Place it in the corner.
Yeah. Dallas Stars aren't doing too shabby themselves with 60 games played, one more than the Avalanche, but they're 37, 14, and 9. 83 points. They've scored 206 goals. That's a far cry from 225, but it's 225, damn. That's almost 4 goals a game, man. It's crazy. It'd be like 3.75 goals a game or some shit, I'm sure. But that's amazing. And they've only allowed 148 goals. Wow. And then you have the Minnesota Wild. They're 35, 16, and 10 with 80 points. They're 3rd place. And then, oddly enough, the Utah Mammoth, man, are in 4th spot in the Central Division. I haven't named any other team besides the top 4 at this point. We can go back and look at the other teams too if we really want to, but I'm just trying to point out the records and stats for the top 4 in each division, because it's the top 4 in each division that go on to the playoffs, right? It's the best of 7 series. But yeah, they're 31, 25, and 4 with 66 points. They're 14 points behind the Wild, but they're not doing too shabby compared to some of the other teams in that division. And then in the Pacific Division, you got the Golden Knights. Las Vegas Golden Knights, 28, 18, and 14 with 70 points. So they'd be in 4th place if they're in the Central Division, and they're leading their division. The Ducks are 33, 23, and 3. They're in 2nd place in their division. Seattle Kraken is 29, 22, and 9 with 67 points. They are 3rd. And the Edmonton Oilers are 29, 24, and 8 with 66 points. They're the 4th spot in that division. That whole division is not doing nearly as well as the rest of the league, period. That's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. You know, the Las Vegas Golden Knights bullshit, though, like, that was just an attempt to buy a Stanley Cup is all that was. They. No. Las Vegas isn't even a hockey town, man. What they're banking on is hockey fans that are traveling to Vegas, and while they're there, they're going to go see the hockey game, is what they're banking on. Because Las Vegas is not a hockey town. It never has been, never will be. So they're literally banking on tourists. I'm sure Vegas has some hockey fans, don't get me wrong. But you know what I mean. Predominantly, they're not like, you know, Montreal or New York, or, you know what I mean? They're not a hockey town. But I'm hoping when Gary Bettman is gone, they finally start letting some Canadian teams back in the league, man. It is retarded that we have 7 teams in the league. The U.S. have 25 teams in the league. Don't get me wrong, those teams are full of Canadians, but that's not the point. Not the point. We need more Canadian. Like Quebec should be back in the league. And there's other Canadian cities that could... Oh, look at that. That is it. That is all. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the Tona Center of the Day, our 6-man tag team matchup. Representing Team Galaxy Phantom and Team Mufasa HCC. It is Eric Dangerous, Mufasa, and RVD. They are TDL, and they just picked up a big W over Phenomenal Soul. I mean, I'm guessing they're still a little pissed off that they won they didn't win. They lost their tag team championships on Sunday at TWA Underground. You know, so they come in with a chip on their shoulder. Phenomenal Soul always comes ready to fight, but when you got another team that's also always ready to fight, plus they're pissed off and have a chip on their shoulder at the moment, that's a tough team to fight for anybody. So, but congratulations to TDL, big win over Phenomenal Soul, and a fantastic tone setter. Not to mention that was a great match. It was a great match. Video production really does need to lay off on all of the replays. Video production, if you're listening, do better. Replays are fantastic. We need to have those, but not 50 billion of them a show. I could almost make a show just out of replays. The Dangerous Lions, better known as TDL, the best tag team in TWA history, and I don't think anybody would try to argue that. I don't think, on more than one occasion, they've held literally every single tag team championship. All right, that's how they get in as Triple Crown champions, to be able to compete in the Legends division. Is they won three, they were holding 3 tag team championships at one time, and they've done that more than once. They are currently still holding 2 World Tag Team Championships, the TWA Speed Tag Team Championships, the TWA World's Tag Team Championships, and of course you have Eric Dangerous. I believe, is he not still the TWA $1 Million champion? I'm almost positive that he is. Almost positive. Let's have a look. May as well look. Yes, he is. And of course, Mufasa is the TW Underground Submission Champion. So they're still collecting gold. That's the one thing about TDL that's kind of fascinating, is the fact that they don't ever lose that hunger. It doesn't matter if they're holding... What's... Oh! Are you live? Are you live? I didn't know somebody was streaming. But anyways...
I'm not live.
Oh, you're talking about me. I don't stream. I don't stream. I run a wrestling promotion. I run a show.
I said Adam's in the broadcast.
But anyways, I see it. So is Ace Haunter. I've been totally ignoring our chat room, actually, as we were having discussions about... But let's face it, we were talking about football and hockey. What did people expect? How dare you if you didn't expect that? But let's get some shout-outs going on here. To be fair, Luke, you probably could have shouted people out. You're a fucking mod, are you not? You lazy Brit. How fucking dare you? But Adam, welcome in. Appreciate you being here as always. I was just in Adam's chat not long ago, actually. But Ace Haunter, welcome in. How you guys doing? What's new and exciting? If you didn't already answer it on Sunday, did you enjoy the Elimination Chamber? Were there things about the Elimination Chamber you did not like? Perhaps you didn't like the whole show. I don't know. This is why I'm asking. Inquiring minds must know. I want to know. Luke wants to know. Moonraider, once he rejoins us on the broadcast booth, instead of looking at dirty magazines and playing Fortnite, it's his favorite pastime. I can't. You can't knock him. You gotta do your thing. Everybody needs a hobby, and that's Moonraiders. That is Moonraiders. Playboy magazines and Fortnite. But anyways. Elimination Chamber was okay, 7.5. Yeah, it was okay. Yeah, that's about the way to put it. It wasn't fantastic. I thought the women's chamber matchup was better, even though there were aspects of it I didn't like. The men's chamber wasn't great at all until the ending, when they surprised everybody, because I did not think Randy Orton was coming out the winner there. Did everybody want that?
I thought both chamber matches were kind of happening. So.
Yeah. Like, did everybody want Orton to win that chamber? They did. But who actually thought that they were going to win that, that he was going to win that chamber, though? Like, I don't think many people would have banked. Like, if you had to put money on it or bet your house on it, you weren't putting your house up against, you know, Randy Orton winning that chamber and going to WrestleMania 42 to fight for the championship.
The only good side of that chamber match to the men was the last 5 minutes of it.
And by the way, they better give him number 15 at this point. I'm telling you, I think there'll be like a revolution of pro wrestling fans. That people will be pissed all over the place if Orton does not win that match now.
I think that they're gonna give Drew a long run, though. I think.
I don't know. I mean, he's definitely not losing to Cody Rhodes. I think Jacob Fatu's going to interfere in that matchup. Going to probably set up a triple threat match of some shit. And Drew McIntyre eventually will still retain that title. But you might be right. Maybe Orton doesn't win, but I think he should. I think he deserves that number 15, personally. And, you know, I'd like to see that happen. That'd be cool. I mean, he's going back to WrestleMania. And he's not just going back to WrestleMania. He's in the main event. He's going to be fighting for the WWE Championship. I would love to see one more run. I'm sure it wouldn't be a long run, right? Because, you know, but I feel like Randy Orton would hold that title till at least SummerSlam, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I don't even think I don't think it was that great of a pay-per-view. I mean, the Danhausen...
No, it wasn't.
I've already said something about that. I've already said, you know what I feel about the Danhausen thing. I don't really know who he is. That's the problem. Like...
All right, here we go. Anyways, matchup number 2, Sarah Santana. That's, of course, Mini She's wrestler. Going up against Jordan Grace 1v1. Of course, Sarah Santana coming off back-to-back losses. However, she did look great. It's one of those situations where you lose, but you look good losing. So there's that. But she's coming off back-to-back losses. She's now 4-2 in her career here in TWA. Taking on the powerhouse, the juggernaut, Jordan Grace. That is our second match of the day. Let's get the show back on the go. But yeah, I know you're absolutely correct. It was not that great of a pay-per-view at all, or PLE.
I feel like I'm a fan now of fucking Sarah Santana.
You're a fan of Sarah Santana? Yeah.
Yeah.
She really badly wanted to make her own wrestler, so I finally let her. I just told her nothing over the top crazy. Nothing over the top. That's my daughter, Mini. That's why I said Mini She. Although I guess most of you already know her name is Saphira, so I guess there's that. She was actually in our chat room on the last show. And she called me on the phone and made sure she could say something live on the show. Called Luke gay and a couple other things.
Why do you like called
him? And then called him a chicken.
Why do you like called him?
I don't know, I just think she likes it because, you know, you don't give her trouble for it. You just play with her. You just kind of entertain her. So I think she likes that. And she has, you know, she's...
Not many people would do that.
It excites her when she gets... Because that's only the second time she's ever really been... This time, only her voice, but because she was actually on one of our shows once before, as you know. The infamous first meeting of Hardcore Country Luke and Saphira. Adam says, I'd love Orton to win. Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. That's what I'm saying. Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. I think they need to pull the trigger on that. They need to pull the trigger on that. Oh, apparently I already gave Ace Hunter a shout out. I was trying to do it again. And it told me I could not. I was like, what do you mean I cannot? How dare you, Stream Elements? But... well, I don't think it's going to happen. Like I said, I think we're going to end up seeing a matchup between Jacob and Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. I think Jacob's interfering. Drew's going to go on to face Orton. And it'll kind of suck to see Drew lose the championship. He just won it not long ago. At the same time, I really want to see Randy Orton have that last championship, if it's his last championship. But at least he gets to 15, and he pulls ahead of Triple H, and that's important, you know. That's important. You got to pull ahead of the game. The Viper takes out the game. But I'd want Drew to keep the belt longer because he's earned this run. Well, I mean, yeah, they could always have something happen at WrestleMania where Orton gets screwed out of winning the title, and then he can always win it later. You know what I mean? Maybe he wins it at SummerSlam. If I'm not mistaken, I think Brock Lesnar is retiring after SummerSlam. If that's still I don't know if that's still a plan in motion, but that's what they had originally talked about, so there's that too. Yeah, well, I mean, I would imagine that Obafemi's going to answer that challenge at some point. Would have been nice to see him do it this week, but the problem is he had business to resolve with The Miz still from the week before, and Brock Lesnar wasn't fucking there, so wasn't there. And it's more of in Oba's character that he would answer that challenge in person, not just come out and cut a promo on Brock Lesnar. You know what I mean? Know what I'm saying, Luke? Do you? Do you, huh? Really? Do you? But yeah, I'm not against Drew McIntyre keeping the belt a little longer because I'm a big Drew McIntyre fan. I've always been a Drew McIntyre fan, even back when he was the chosen one. Back when he left for a little while and found himself in TNA and, you know, became a world champion over there and kind of reinvented himself a little bit. So, yeah, I've always been a Drew fan. I was pissed when they took the title off him just to put it on Bobby Lashley. And then they didn't even give Bobby Lashley a good run. I'm like, really? Drew McIntyre could still be champion right now. I'm not saying he would have kept it as long as Roman Reigns kept his, but I mean, I like Drew McIntyre, in addition to Roman Reigns, helped carry the company through COVID. I'm sorry.
I don't think
No, he's not going to beat him, no. If he does, it'll be like, I don't know, by DQ or some shit. Cody picks up the win, right? Drew loses but keeps the title. And again, I firmly believe that it's going to be Jacob Fatu that probably interferes in that match. I actually thought there was... I was surprised they were going to do that on SmackDown because something told me, I don't know why I thought it, but I thought there was a Saturday night main event coming up before WrestleMania, so I just... Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I don't get it.
I didn't have Elimination Chamber for my last time.
Are you guys watching this match? Holy fuck, they're having a good match. I can't... I've been pretty much watching the entirety of this matchup, and I can't tell you who's going to come out on top. At all. It's been so back and forth. Wow, they're just going at it. Ooh, a headbutt to the face by Santana. That was savage. Capitalize. Don't be taunting. Don't be looking for crowd support.
What was the whole purpose of them?
Well, I mean, she really likes... She watches the shows and stuff. And is here sometimes when I'm live. She's been on the show. And she just asked if she could have her own wrestler. I think really, ultimately, is probably because Mel has a wrestler too, right? Melissa Archer. So... But she didn't want to be called Sarah Archer. So, for whatever reason, she chose Santana. I asked her why she chose that name, and she just said she liked it. And I said, oh, well, there's actually a famous wrestler, a former Intercontinental and Tag Team Champion, that has the name Santana. So she thought that was pretty cool. I'm talking about Tito Santana, obviously, for those that May not know anything.
Mike Santana as well.
But yeah, she just shows that name randomly, and I thought that's interesting.
That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah. Yep, she started off a good career too. You know, 4-0, but she's lost back-to-back matches. But that's okay. That happens. It's pro wrestling. Everybody loses. There's no such thing as being an undefeated pro wrestler. Oh, look at this. Jordan Grace from the second rope. Second turnbuckle, technically, I guess. But her feet are on the ropes, not the turnbuckle, so I don't know. I still... For argument's sake, we'll just say from the corner. Oh, nice power slam. Jordan Grace. Oh, measuring her up. Jordan Grace looking to finish off Sarah Santana here. Oh, elbow to the face, though. Nice counter by Sarah Santana there. Oh, went for a big boot, but missed. Oh, the juggernaut just about beheads her. Good grief, nice evasion. God, these guys are... This is such a good match. This is a really, really good match.
I always call for Mike Santana and Joe Santana.
Mike Santana from TNA. I don't think...
He used to be part of the tag team alongside...
torture rack! Sarah's in trouble. Oh, wow, she let go of the hold. Why would she do that? I don't understand why wrestlers do that sometimes. You've got them right where you want them. Oh, nice reversal. She had a bridging suplex going on there, but Jordan Grace's feet were underneath the ropes. Some big chops to the chest by Sarah Santana, followed up by some kicks. Some good striking action. Got to stay on Jordan Grace, though. I feel like she I don't know if she's just trying to take pride in her work or feed the crowd. I don't know what she's doing, but stop going. Like, she pauses, it's like, sometimes. And you can't do that. Jordan Grace will get back up and whoop your ass. 2 count only. Jordan's not done yet. And see what I mean? She's looking around at the crowd. Fuck the crowd. You want to beat her? You got to beat her up. That is Jordan Grace, the juggernaut. Lack of veteran experience, right? Sarah Santana's new to the roster, so she doesn't have the same in-ring knowledge as some of our great superstars in TWA, unfortunately, yet. But wow, nice DDT. That was almost like Jake the Snake Robert-esque right there. And that is it. That is all. She did it with the DDT. Holy hell, I haven't seen somebody win with a DDT in a while, actually.
Oh, she's back to winning weights.
Yeah, it's been, how long has it been since somebody won a match with a DDT, though? That was well executed. It was like I said, it was kind of Jake the Snake Robert-esque. But, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the matchup, Sarah Santana. From Team Minishi, of course. She is now 5-2 in her career, and she's got some impressive victories. Never mind the 2 losses. She has some impressive victories. She did not fight cans coming in.
I think she's doing a good job.
I think so too. And Jordan Grace has had a good season, so.
The Animagus, whatever it's called.
Animagus is a sheep.
Is a sheep. The vehicle is an ATV. The wrestler I'm about to do.
Oh, you haven't done it yet? Okay. So you're driving an ATV dressed as a sheep.
I am Lazen Ramon.
You're the bad guy dressed as a sheep. A wolf in sheep's clothing. Kind of fitting when you think about it. I haven't done it yet. Let's see. I am Elijah Archer. Nice. That's only I've only got that a few times. That's kind of cool. So I'm Elijah Archer. I am the one. I am dressed as a cheetah. And I am driving a Hummer. That's kind of cool. Archer owns a Hummer, so that's fitting, actually. So Elijah Archer dressed as a cheetah, driving a Hummer. Very interesting. All right, so congratulations to Sarah Santana. Let's move on to our next matchup. And here we go, next match of the day. Speaking of Elijah Archer, it is the Coalition. The one Elijah Archer, Joe Hendry and MJF taking on Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, and Joaquin Wilde. That's going to be one hell of a matchup. The LWO versus the Coalition 6-man tag team matchup. That is next. The Coalition have had a shaky last half of the season. To be fair, they were doing great in the beginning of the season, but they've lost some pretty big matchups lately. As is Archer, to be fair, you know. Except for he is still the TWA Underground World Champion. He seems to really like that championship. He keeps defending it, sometimes by the skin of his teeth. A razor-thin margin, if you will. But has been doing a good job specifically with that championship. But he just lost a matchup to Ethan Page, former Coalition member. I know he's not too happy about that. Not happy about that. Matter of fact, he wanted a match with Ethan Page today, but he did not get his wish, and the Coalition are going up against the LWO. Ethan Page will be in the co-main event later today, going against the Gooner, Luke Ballmer, for the TWA Television Championship. Ethan Page has been making some noise this season in TWA. Just could not seem to get along with the Coalition, though. Left them high and dry how many times? Caused countouts all the time. I don't know if somebody sent him in there to do that shit on purpose, but the Ethan Page did not. Do you remember that? He did not work well with the Coalition at all. At all.
The Gouda didn't? No, he didn't.
No.
Work well with the Coalition. I don't know what happened to get rid of Coalition, because Gouda just didn't seem to fucking enjoy his time there.
No, that too. Yeah, I remember that when the Gooner was. We're going back a couple of seasons, but yeah, even Luke Ballmer was part of the Coalition. They've had members that work and they've had members that don't. I think the three strongest so far are the ones you see for the last couple seasons, which is Joe Hendry and MJF teaming with Elijah Archer. So, and they'll of course continue into season 7 as a team. So, hopefully they have a better season 7. But here we go. The Coalition. The LWO. Let's go.
Dilla Fatu versus Bishop Dyer, formerly known as Baron Corbin, for the Crown Jewel Championship.
Oh, nice.
On Friday.
That would actually be an interesting match. Yeah. That would be interesting. By the way, Moonraider, I don't know if you were listening, or I can't even remember if you're listening or even involved in the conversation, but earlier Luke and I were talking. You know what I think would be an interesting rivalry is Moondust and Danhausen. I'd like to see Moondust call out Danhausen. I think they would have some interesting matches together.
I know where Moondust has his own. Moondust has his own soft like has his own son. I know that the thing is, the dust is something to do with the dust part is something to do with Cody, or when he was known as Stardust.
You know what?
Gold Dust.
I'm sure we've talked about this before, but I liked Stardust. I actually
you legit just got invaded, raped.
Oh, did I now?
Yeah.
It's K-Bax in the house, and it is Bimu-chan.
Yeah, Bimu-chan.
Invading with 5 villains. How's everybody doing? Thanks for coming in. Luke, can you get some shoutouts going?
Yeah.
For me? I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. How's everybody doing? How was your stream? What were you playing? Did you guys have a good time? I hope you had a good time. That's the most important part of any stream or show, is you have to have a good time. It's been a while. It has been a while. But, I mean, you're always welcome. You know that. Life happens. You can't always be here, right? But it's good to see you. Fantastic. I'm glad you're here. Episode 697 today. K-Back. 697. We're 3 away from 700 shows. And this weekend, Sunday, I don't know what you're doing, but we have a big stream preview this Sunday. TWA's, just click on their name and go to shoutout. You can only do one at a time. Well, we have a Discord command too, but I prefer the special shoutout because let's say they're not here and we just decide to shout somebody out for the hell of it because we like them. They'll get notified in their activity feed on Twitch that they've got that shoutout.
That's awesome, that.
Yeah. I've literally had people come to a show because they got shouted out. They saw the notification and thought, oh, cool, Archer's live, and came in. So, I mean, it actually is handy. I still have the Discord shoutouts, too. I just prefer the other ones. The only shitty thing is you can only do, like, one at a time. You can only do one, then you have to wait, like, I don't know, 90 seconds, 2 minutes, whatever it is.
That's the Flashers shout-out, isn't it?
Here comes the one! Elijah Archer, your reigning defending TWA Underground champion. Wait a minute. Why is he coming out by himself? I don't know. I just thought of that now. I don't know. Maybe he was busy giving interviews backstage and didn't realize he had to come out with everybody else.
Maybe MJF and Joe Entry is just like, why not you go out there and so that we can see their entrances?
Yeah. Fucking hell. Does Archer think he's better than his comrades now? What the hell? I'm so confused why he's coming out by himself. I mean, if MJF and Joe Henry also come out by themselves, I'm really going to start to wonder what the fuck is going on with the Coalition. But weird. Like, what was he doing? Why could he not come out with MJF and Henry? And actually, Joaquin Phoenix, or Wild, sorry, he's not coming out with Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio either. To be fair, he wasn't as big a part of LWO anymore as Dragon Lee was, but I liked Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee together, actually. Yeah. But Ray got busy.
I thought like LWO, but
not as a whole, no. But I liked the team of Ray and Dragon Lee, though. I thought they complement each other very well. K-Mac says, boo, this guy's stinky. How dare you talk that way about the one Elijah Archer? K-Mac told me y'all were live, and I knew that name rang a bell. Shipping just a cozy little game, chilling and vibing, fantastic. I mean, that's important. You know, sometimes it's nice to just play something you can vibe with, and it's nice to chill and sit back and relax while you're playing. We're always having fun. We always have fun. It is what we do. That is the most important part of any show or stream. You have to have fun. If you can't have fun, what's the point? Right? What's the point? Just to watch yourself on video? No. You gotta have a good time with your community, good time. And in my case, I get lucky because I always get Moon and Luke on the broadcast booth. Sometimes other people join us. You know, broadcast booth has actually done a lot. If you go back a couple seasons, I had a Canadian professional wrestler on the broadcast booth. I have had Yadin on the show before. I want to have him on again, though. I want to have him on again. I think we have. He's the promoter for Rocky Mountain Pro Wrestling. We invade him all the time, and he's the retro gamer. But I would like to have him on the show again. I'd like to have him on the show again. But yeah, we've done a lot with the broadcast booth over time. That was the only 2 times I ever had a guest host of that magnitude, but it was still fun. But anyways, I'm still stuck on the fact that Alexa Bliss was the first one eliminated from the Elimination Chamber. I still can't quite get over that. Like, why? Again, I do understand, especially considering they did a cut scene and showed Charlotte Flair walking backstage with Alexa's daughter. So I do know that Alexa's little girl was there. I do know that Alexa's little girl was there, and it could just be a simple fact of, they didn't want to keep mommy preoccupied too long. Having family there and all. And Alexa does like to put people over. I get that. She's kind of like Mickie James in that way, actually. So that's a good thing, especially as she, gets a little. She's not exactly getting younger, Alexa Bliss, right? So it's good that she knows that she's good enough to put people over. And people like Mickie James and Alexa Bliss are perfect people to have you put over because people love them. First of all, they're very good at what they like. Their body of work is beyond excellent, so you can really learn a lot from them. So, no, I didn't. I have to still watch that still. I do still have to watch that, yeah.
And he's tagging his partner in.
But yeah, I'm still stuck on that. I still can't. Yo, Uzi's in the house. What's going on? Oh, great. It's Cox R Us. How the fuck you been? I mean, I've been pretty good. I can't complain. I don't have too much to complain about.
I wouldn't rule out seeing Mickie James.
Every strike more devastating than the last.
Rule out seeing who, sorry?
I wouldn't rule out seeing Mickie James.
No, they will put her in the WWE Hall of Fame eventually. It's gonna happen. She's already in the TNA Hall of Fame. Yeah. I wouldn't even be surprised if it was Mickie and Nick going in. The only thing is
why would Nick go in the Hall of Fame?
Well, why not? He's a former NWA champion. He's a former TNA champion. He's now a general manager, very good one actually for SmackDown. And I'm hoping that at some point they do put Nick Aldis back in the ring. I'd like to see Nick Aldis back in the ring for a little while. But Nick Aldis is a great pro wrestler, man. He's got great accolades. He definitely deserves a Hall of Fame induction.
That fucker used to be part of Mr. Nick Aldis used to be part of the Gladiators.
Yep, he was that too, yeah.
Yeah. On the Sky One edition.
Whatever happened? Speaking of which, somebody look this up. Do you guys remember when The Miz was supposed to be the host of the new American Gladiators? Like, has that happened yet? Are they still filming it? Like, what's going on with that? Look that up. Because I've been waiting for that. I liked the Gladiators. I've watched different versions of the Gladiators because the UK had a version of the Gladiators too.
Yeah, they brought back the Gladiators. They have a reboot version, and it's with this dude called Bradley Walsh and his son. I don't know what his son's name is called, but they brought that back 2 years ago, but with new Gladiators. And the new Gladiators, like the characters,
yeah.
I like them. I like the women's side of things. Like, one of my top 3 favorites is Diamond. But
you like Diamond? Yeah.
The other one, what's her name? Fucking hell. She is,
Sky?
No, what's her? Forgot what her name is now, right.
Because Sky was really good,
she's
too.
She's the one that's got bad hearing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I forget her name though. But anyways, my point being is The Miz was supposed to do a rebooted version of the American Gladiators. I don't know what's going on with that. Like, we're going back to last year when it was talked about. I think closer to the beginning of last year even might have been. But yeah, look up Miz host of American Gladiators and see what's happening with that.
He's got him down to the pin.
But anyways, Uzi, how's it going? How's parenthood treating you? Have you gone crazy yet? Do you have gray hairs? What is happening with that? Inquiring minds must know, Uzi. Don't leave us hanging. How dare you? Don't come in here and call us cocks and then leave us hang. That's something Cracking Skulls would do, you know. Sometimes I think you're related to Cracking Skulls. I'm not gonna lie. Except for you talking about cocks, he wants to talk about dildos and vibrators. You know, if Kraken's ever on the broadcast booth, No, or even if you're in the chat room and he's like, don't bring up stuff like that, because Kraken will tell a whole fucking, like, he will go on and on. You will learn things about sexual fantasies you didn't even know existed. Kraken's crazy. Kraken's a crazy boy. A crazy boy. Kraken's been very busy as of late. I think he's doing more stuff on YouTube now, though. I'll have to check. I actually haven't checked his channel in a little bit.
I haven't seen him around for a while.
Well, I've talked to him here and there, and I've sent him he still watches the VODs for TWA and stuff. So, but he hasn't been live on Twitch in quite a hot minute, to my knowledge, anyways.
Mysterio counters quickly.
That was a nice double shoulder block by Archer and Joe Hendry, working well as a unit. They need to work well as a unit, and I hope they have a better Season 7 than they did Season 6, because let's be honest, the Coalition was 50-50 at best this year. They started out really strong, and then it went downhill from there. I think like the Vision and TDL, and remember that whole, like, they got inside the heads, and of course Mufasa constantly telling them that they were going to break up as a team because, you know, this person was you know, had an ego, and that you know, and it worked with Ethan Page. Ethan Page, he just never clicked with the Coalition at all, specifically. But I think TDL and the Vision and everything, just everything that happened, you know, and the Wolfpack got involved.
History problem here. There's a lot of them.
Wheelbarrow and driven
I know.
down face first.
Judah didn't like it.
It even took Joe Hendry a while to work fairly well. MJF and Archer are the ones that have worked the best together. They won tag team titles together, even.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But yeah, the Coalition has been subpar this season. Archer's done well on his own. MJF's won a couple singles matches, as is Hendry. They've mostly stuck to tag team division, though. Archer's tried to convince MJF to have more singles matches, but that dude don't listen to anybody but himself. Nobody but himself. Wow. Rey Mysterio with a powerbomb to Joe Hendry. Interesting. Ooh, nice drop kick right to the chest by Dragon Lee. Here comes MJF. Superman punch right into the gate. Here comes Rey Mysterio, though. The six-man tag team matchup continues. I really like elimination style tag team matches like this, but the bookers don't listen to me. They just book whatever the hell they want. As it is, it's one fall wins it all, but wow. A version of the Tower of Doom by the Coalition. Wow, there it is. That is it. That is all. And it is the one even picking up the pinfall for this. So, see, he had to get the job done for MJF and Joe Hendry, you see. He had to get the job done. But, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the six-man tag team matchup, MJF, Joe Hendry, and the one, Elijah Archer. They are the Coalition, and they just picked up a win over the LWOs, Joaquin Wild, Dragon Lee, and Rey Mysterio, the biggest little man in the business. Legend of TWA. Actually, you know, I'm surprised Rey Mysterio's never... I don't think he's ever fought for the Legends Championship, has he? He's been too busy messing around with... No, yeah, he should be. Yeah, he should have a match for it, as a matter of fact. The powers that be should make that happen. And I think Paul Orndorff, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, is still the reigning defending TWA Legends champion. He won the championship from... Shade, actually, the Outsider Shade, and then defended it twice. Defended it twice so far. Rey Mysterio would be a great challenger. Great challenger. Everybody must believe in Joe Hendry. The Coalition believes in Joe Hendry. The Coalition with a big W. Well, not so big. I mean, it is the LWO. It is the LWO. They should be beating the LWO, except for, with exception to Rey Mysterio. You know, if either one of them face Rey Mysterio in singles competition, the chances of losing are greater than when they're in the tag team. But, it's Rey Mysterio. But they definitely should be beating the LWO in tag team competition.
Oh, yeah.
So, a good win for the Coalition, not necessarily a big win for the Coalition. Not as big as TDL conquering Phenomenal Soul in the Tone Center. That was, that was crazy. All right, next match of the day, tag team action. It is another one fall wins it all matchup, but this time it is the Deleters of Worlds. Joe and JoJo Davis from Team Boss Apollo taking on Penta and Rey Fénix. It is the Deleters of Worlds versus the Lucha Brothers next. It is next. Looks like we're taking a gap. I can sometimes snooze those. I don't know if I'm too late, though. Let me see. See if I can snooze those bad boys. There, let's see if that worked. I don't know if that works or not. I've got it on the quick actions. So I don't know, whether or not it actually ends up snoozing the ads, whether I can do it when the ads have already started, or if I have to do it before it starts, or I don't know. So you guys will have to let me know that one. You'll have to let me know. All right, here we go. Deleters of Worlds and the Lucha Brothers, Rey Fénix and Penta. Let's go. Rumor has it Penta actually won an Intercontinental Championship in a lesser promotion recently.
They're here.
The promotion that shall not be named. They are a lesser promotion. They don't deserve it. They are not LCW. They are not CCW. They are not ZWA. They are not HCW or Neon Pro Wrestling. They do not get mentioned. They're still wrestling in bingo halls. Whereas we all wrestle and sell out stadiums, arenas. Joe Davis, of course, a multiple-time world champion, tag team champion. He's been television champion. JoJo Davis has had success in his own right. Not as much as Joe. Matter of fact, Joe recently held the TWA Andre the Giant Battle Royal Championship. He won 6 straight Battle Royals. Crazy. Nobody's ever done that. 6 straight Battle Royals, defending the championship on 5 occasions. That's crazy. There's a fun fact for the day. Joe Davis, the only person in TWA history to win 6 Battle Royals in a row and defend a championship in them 5 times. Kind of crazy. Adam says, because you're not AEW. Couldn't resist. How dare you, sir? Somebody ban Adam. Somebody ban Adam. How dare he? Come in here.
How dare he criticize?
How ghastly. It is ghastly. How dare you? You should be ashamed of yourself, Adam. Couldn't resist. How dare you? Here they come, the Lucha Brothers, Rey Fénix and Penta. AEW used to be awesome. The thing that bothers me the most is how badly they've trashed ROH. ROH was one of the great king of the indies. So many great superstars were in and there, won championships there, had superb matches there. And it has just been treated like a C-rated promotion somewhere. You know what I mean? It's not. You couldn't even call it AEW's NXT because they're nowhere near that level. And all they're doing is sending people from the AEW roster over to compete in ROH. I mean, listen, if you're going to run ROH, you run it the way it's always been run. You get new people from indie promotions to come over and try to make names of themselves in the king of the indies, which was ROH. You know, yeah, they did have your Samoa Joes and your CM Punks, but they weren't having great WWE careers or AEW careers at the time. They were still coming up through the rankings when they were, you know, in their prime of ROH. You know what I mean? So that's what they should be doing with ROH. Yes, you send over your veterans and have matches with them and put over the new people, but ROH should be full of new wrestlers that can showcase their talents to try and get to the AEW roster, or try to get, well, I mean, they're not going to get the WWE from there until their contract's up, but you know what I mean, though. But they're not doing any of that. They're just week by week, month by month, trashing the legacy of ROH, and it's ghastly. It is ghastly. Not gaslight, ghastly. Here, I show you. See, look. Gaslight. Just like the person on that emote. He is ghastly. But for some reason keeps showing up from time to time. Usually with the Wolfpack. Usually with the Wolfpack, those bastards. You just get rid of the bastards. Or him anyways. You get rid of him. Luscious Luther Brody is his name. He is like a disgusting version of Ravishing Rick Rude. He's ghastly. He is grotesque, if you will. But Alan Severn, from time to time, keeps rehiring him and bringing him into the Wolfpack. The man wins, too, which is the funny thing. If you go back and look at the championship history, Luscious Luther Brody's been champion on many occasions. Or a champion, not the champion, but he's been a champion. He's never been a world champion. The tag team championships and so on and so forth. But he is a ghastly human being. Disgusting. Ghastly. Not gaslight. How dare you.
Nicely done. And makes a tag to their partner.
Rey Fenix needs to get a tag here. Joe Davis going to make sure that doesn't happen. Oh! Kicked him right in the temple. Holy damn. That's going to cause a headache later. If he does not have a headache later from that, I will be surprised. Here's the thing, Archer. Tony thinks, as his wrestlers, as his own action figures, he'll play with them when they're new, then gets bored. He had Ciampa lose the TNT title, literally. I know. I can't believe they brought him in. His debut match, they have him win that title, which is supposed to be their version of a television championship, or at that point, technically a network championship, or an intercontinental US, that type of championship. And then they take it back from him like he never should have had it to begin with. It was ridiculous. The problem is, Tony Khan does not know how to book wrestling matches. He doesn't know how to run a wrestling promotion. He needs people to help him. He needs people there that can show him the ropes. You know, nobody's saying he can't learn it, right? He has a roster full of talent, right? So we know that he can find good pro wrestlers. We know that he's got a good eye for that. But when it comes to booking weekly wrestling shows and long-term booking and championship booking, he has no clue. He is simply a billionaire fanboy that is running a promotion like it's a side hobby. And the sad thing is he's had people there. People like Mark Henry, people like Paul White is still working for him. You know, Jericho, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes. He's had people around him that could show him the ropes. But Tony just does Tony. Tony just does Tony. And now, they're continuously, like 2 years in a row, AEW has lost money. And we're talking more than $75 million. It was $75 million or $79 million in 2024, and they were projected to lose more than that in 2025. And everybody's like, oh, they're billionaires. The dads, yeah, they're billionaires because they own multiple companies. They own sports teams. All of that money can't be sunk back into AEW. WWE can, because all of WWE's money came from WWE. So the billions and billions of dollars they're worth can literally be sunk right back into the company anytime they want. Matter of fact, last year, the WWE ended up making more than the UFC. Not by a lot. I believe the UFC made $1.5 billion, and the WWE made $1.7 billion. But they're losing viewership and attendance. I mean, even just was it this week or last week? I think it was last week, actually. NXT smashed them. They had 744,000 viewers. They're pushing closer and closer to 1 million. And, you know, AEW's been having a problem keeping it over 600,000. But it's not the talent. I've said it over and over again. They have a shitload of talent down there. But talent is only as good as the storylines. Right? You got to be able to see those people on TV. The problem is they might have too many people, right? Because you got to see everybody on television. You got to have good quality matches and storylines and some long-term booking, and along with that short-term booking that they go with a lot. And I don't want to see AEW fail. I want to see them do better. I'm sorry, but having more than one big promotion, right? What we consider, AEW is a big promotion, supposed to be a big promotion. It's good for business. It drives both companies to do better. Well, it should, anyways. It should. But WWE's only competition right now is itself. Literally. Literally themselves. And the people they're partnered with, like TNA and AAA. You know? And people wonder why I don't take them. Yeah, I know. Yep. It's the same reason I stopped watching. I still watch their pay-per-views, because for whatever reason, their last pay-per-view wasn't great, but usually they always put on a very, very good pay-per-view. They're good at that. They're very good at that. But again, you're talking about one show, not weekly. It's a monthly thing. A lot easier to book a show for once a month than it is, in their case. So what do they have, 2 shows or 3 shows? I forget. So either 2 or 3 times a week. Because they also have ROH too, right? So they also have ROH.
Oh my God! This will turn your lights out in a hurry.
What were we talking about before that? We were talking about WrestleMania. So, Luke, do you want to see Lesnar versus Obafemi? Do you think that's a good? I mean, if they're gonna do it, they should. They need, I mean, we're not that far away from WrestleMania. They need to pull a trigger and get something started. You know what I mean? All we've got to go on is the confrontation at the Royal Rumble and him issuing an open challenge, which nobody's answered yet. And I think most people, myself included, want to see Obafemi answer that challenge. I would have liked to have seen Obafemi answer the U.S. Open challenge at some point, and that never happened either. But this is the second challenge, the second version of an open challenge. Something needs to be done here. You know what I mean? You can't have 2 open challenges and the ruler Now I get he's a free agent still. He hasn't signed to SmackDown or Raw yet. You know, I get that. But you can't have 2 open challenges and the ruler of WWE doesn't answer any of them. Wow, what a powerbomb outside the ring there by Penta. Holy shit. I'll tell you, it's been a good match, but the Leaders of Worlds having a real issue keeping momentum going against the Lucha Brothers. Lucha Brothers have looked really good in this match. But yeah, Obafemi needs to answer that challenge. But Brock Lesnar needs to show up. You know, because again, for me personally, I don't see Obafemi just coming out without Brock Lesnar there and cutting a promo and accepting the challenge. I feel like that's something he's going to want to get in Brock's face. He's going to want to show that he is not intimidated by the Beast Incarnate. And he's going to want to accept that challenge to Brock Lesnar's face. I think. What do you guys think?
It could be something as well, Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could be quite a spectacle. I think Obafemi...
How have you got it interacting with a Rumble? They didn't do anything with that other than
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's all we got to go on. That and the fact that there's an open challenge. But... because again, if it were me, when Obafemi was in that Royal Rumble, I would have had him... I would have booked him to continue eliminating people until he was at just about Brock Lesnar's Royal Rumble record. Then cue Brock Lesnar coming out, having that confrontation with Obafemi, you know, and either him eliminating Femi or, you know, he's able to beat him up enough that other people are able to eliminate Obafemi and he doesn't actually get that record from Brock. But I thought they fumbled that. I'm not going to lie. I thought they fumbled that. I don't know what they were thinking, having it go down as it did. Because people were on their feet, man. They were intrigued by that short.
I want to see Brock Lesnar.
Oh yeah, me too. Absolutely. I absolutely want to see that. Ooh, the Penta driver to JoJo Davis, but Joe Davis breaks it up. Joe Davis breaks it up. Rey Fenix tags back in. Oh, out the back door goes JoJo. Inverted DDT. He's at the shrine of Fortnite.
We've got
No, I mean, he was engaged in conversation with us there for a little bit. But then he disappeared again. Whoa! Canadian Destroyer by Rey Fenix. I wonder if he calls it the Spanish Destroyer instead of the Canadian Destroyer. Joe Davis looking to turn things around here for the Leaders of Worlds. Again, been a great matchup, but so far the Leaders of Worlds have not been able to really gain what you would call control of the matchup here over the Lucha Brothers. Fort shite, you call it? Yeah, I call it Stink Night. I call it Stink Night. I've just never been a fan of it.
Yeah, that's right, too.
No. But I mean, to be fair, a shitload of people do like it. So, there's that. There is that. I don't get it either. I do not. Oh, big standing body splash. And another one by JoJo Davis. Trying to turn Ray Phoenix into a pancake outside the ring there. Whoa! Damn. JoJo Davis is decimating Ray Phoenix right now. Oh, look at that reversal by Ray Phoenix. Wow, I'm surprised he has anything left in him after that. Like 4 body splashes. Suicide dive through the ropes by JoJo. Ooh, took him right off his feet with that big chop. And a tag in Penta. Back in comes Penta. Ooh, misses the basement dropkick. Nice evasion there by JoJo. Same thing, yeah, it is. Fort Shite and Stink Night. 2 peas in a pod.
Shots to the body.
The leaders of World really trying to turn things around here. But look at that, another reversal by Penta. That's what I mean. Again, don't get me wrong, this has been a fantastic tag team matchup, but the leaders of World's having a tough time. Much tougher time than with most other tag teams of gaining control of the matchup. The Lucha Brothers have just worked like a well-oiled machine. Oh, he tapped him out. Wow, look at that. I'm not going to lie, I actually thought the Lucha Brothers were going to win that matchup eventually. I thought they were on their way to a victory over the leaders of Worlds. But ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match, by submission, Joe and JoJo Davis, the leaders of Worlds, with a big win over the Lucha Brothers, Ray Phoenix and Penta. So congratulations to Team Boss Apollo and the leaders of Worlds. Moon Raider says that's what it deserves to be called. I mean, you're the one that plays it, sir. To be fair, we can call it that because we don't play that shit. You play that shit. So are you getting the new... well, what do they call it now? It used to be called FIFA. The new football game for 26, anyways. AFC 26, yeah. Are you getting it?
I don't know. Last one's a big shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I do have to get it, I won't get like the most expensive games.
You should get, you know what you should get? You should get yourself a new hockey game. Yeah, you could run a show playing hockey. You could even have a little bit of fun with that. You could do a season mode and have people have to earn channel points, and they can create a hockey player to go on your team. And you guys could... I mean, lots of people. It's not just people from the UK that watch your stream. And hockey's becoming more popular over there anyways, so you'd be surprised. And it's fun if they've got a player on your team and they're watching that team.
It is a cool sport, like, it is a cool sport.
You could have a Team Arsenal hockey team. It does. But yeah, people could earn channel points and get a hockey player on your team, and they can watch that team play through the season and the playoffs and hopefully have a Stanley Cup run. You could have some fun with that.
Good.
Yeah. You could. All right, let's move on to our next match of the day. Here we go. Another 6-man tag team matchup. It is Team Arsenal. Without the Gooner today, the Gooner's busy later in the co-main event of the show. But it is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, Will Ospreay, and AJ Styles are going to lead the way for the Team Arsenal today. And they are taking on Solo Sikoa, Talatonga, and Tomatonga, MFT. That is our next match of the day. Let's get things rocking and rolling. Keep the show on the go. Sorry, what were you saying, Luke?
So you could do it with that. You could do that with basketball as well. You could do it.
You could. Yeah, well, there's a lot of things you could do with.
You could even do it with football.
Yeah, there's a lot. I'm surprised more people don't, actually. Just to make that, when people are watching you play that particular sports game, it makes it more intriguing if they can get involved in that. You know, but it seems to be only like wrestling that people, you know.
I've seen people do. I've seen a couple of basketball leagues.
Even MMA games, you could have created MMA fighters, and there's things you could do, you know, but you don't see that either. It's weird. You see people stream them, but you don't see them try to get people interactive with it and try to have a little bit more fun, you know, while they're watching that game being played. But here we go, Team Arsenal, MFT, let's go. Team Arsenal.
It's just getting the time to do it all, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. But we find it the time to do it for wrestling, so I'm sure we could find the time to do it for other things as well.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, at one point, I think we're going back to season 1 or 2, Elijah Archer had decided to buy a hockey team, so we actually intertwined the two back then. It was kind of short-lived. But yeah, there was that storyline back in the day. But we didn't take it that far. We should have done that. We should have had people capable of having their own hockey players on the team. Cody Rhodes, Will Ospreay, and AJ Styles. That's one hell of a team right there for Team Arsenal. We're without their leader because their leader is prepping backstage for his own matchup later today when he defends his TWA Television Championship against All Ego Ethan Page. That's going to be one hell of a matchup. Ethan Page coming off a big win over the one Elijah Archer, as a matter of fact. So an intriguing matchup. That Team Arsenal logo looks great on the back of Cody Rhodes' jacket. So far, just the Gooner and Cody Rhodes have those logos on their attire. Will Ospreay and AJ Styles do not, as of right now, anyways. How dare they, by the way? I know. How dare he? Team Arsenal, ready for a fight. And a fight they will definitely get. They are facing... What's that?
Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles, 2 former Bullet Club members then.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, you're right. That's a faction they tried to keep alive for way too long. They did the same thing with the NWO.
No, I always came across as a fucking NWO ripoff, kind of like...
Kind of, yeah. Which is likely, you know, what it was supposed to be fair, you know. And it was successful in its own right. But just like the NWO and WCW, they got carried away. Too many members. It just got stale, you know. Solo Sikoa making his way to the ring first, apparently. He's not going to join the rest of MFT, I guess. That was like Archer. He didn't come out with Henry and MJF earlier. I was like, what the hell? What in the blue hell? But I don't know.
Imagine running with the I-League of Mortal Kombat.
Sorry, say that again? Yeah, you could. You really could. Again, people earn channel points and get to choose a character. If they don't spend enough points, then that character is only redeemable for one stream. Or they have the option where they can... Well, why not? Well, there might not be a universe, but that doesn't mean they couldn't. You know, you have a list of people that have certain redeemed characters of the game, and you just make sure those characters get a match. You know what I mean? I'd redeem a character, and like I said, make it so they can either redeem for one show, or if they want to redeem it for more than one show, then it's gonna cost them more channel points, obviously. But otherwise, that character goes back to the unredeemed list. Also known as Talatonga. But yeah, you should absolutely try that out. I'd have fun with that. I'd redeem Raiden, of course. You know me. I like Raiden. How dare you, Adam? I will fight you. You know what? You crazy fucking... I will fight you. I like Raiden, damn it. How dare you like Raiden? How dare you also like Raiden? You can have Chong Li.
Although, to be fair, Chong Li was there when we played Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, yeah. I actually always liked Street Fighter better than Mortal Kombat, to be fair, but I liked both. I liked both, and I played both. No, not at all. I liked both, I enjoyed both, and I played both. I just preferred Street Fighter. I just thought the characters were more fun. For that particular series, yeah. I also liked Virtua Fighter, and the reason I liked Virtua Fighter is it was straight hand-to-hand combat. There was no fireballs or chains being, thrown at you, ripping your throat out, or, there was none of that shit. It was just once in a while it was nice to play a game where it was straight hand-to-hand, because back then you didn't really have it like you do now. You didn't have MMA games, right? You had boxing games, but, but yeah. But no, I liked both Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. I thought they were both very good games. I just liked the goofiness of Street Fighter. I don't know what it was. It was... Tama Tonga in the house. I do think it's weird that most of MFT is better than Solo Sco. I find that a little bit amusing. I don't know why. Do you not think that's weird? I'm not saying Solo's shit or anything. I just think everybody else is better than him. And he's the leader. Like, Tom is better, Jacob Fatu is better. I don't think Talatonga really is, but it is go time. Ooh, big chop right off the hop by AJ Styles. Takes him down with a dragon screw leg whip. That can fuck up your knee. That can fuck up your whole leg, that move, as a matter of fact. I mean, to be fair, that's exactly what he wants to happen. But, so there's that, You want to beat the shit out of the MFT, right? So, you don't want to just beat them, you want to beat the shit out of them and send a message. You don't want to fight us again. Otherwise, they'll just keep coming back, getting in your face. That is what they do.
Snap suplex, very effective.
Oh, my back's feeling a little bit better today, but it's still achy. It's annoying. I don't even know what I did to it. I kind of woke up that way yesterday. I must have slept wrong or some damn thing. But over the course of the day, especially after work and taking a bus home, it just got progressively worse. I had a hard time sleeping last night. which is probably why after Mel went to work today, I actually passed back out for almost 2 hours again. I was like, oh, I remember opening my eyes going, what the hell? I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, why am I just waking up? I was already up. What the fuck is going on? But so back to the NHL. We never did finish talking about the NHL. And of course, we'll go back to WrestleMania discussion too at some point. But
double axe handle, tandem offense in effect.
Well, we finished the top 4 in each division. We didn't really talk about the other teams a whole lot. But speaking of top 4s in each division, I'm unless something drastic happens, I'm going to guess that the Colorado Avalanche might make it to the Stanley Cup final this year, I think.
Which team can stay on the same page, Michael? It takes a lot of work to make sure everyone's
yeah.
We're the 3-person team. Hey,
they're just having such a great season. Like, flat out, such a great season. And, I mean, think about it. They've scored 225 goals. 225 goals in 59 games. That's incredible. That is incredible. The next team to them, I think, is like 206, which is still impressive, to be fair. But 225, 59 games. They still have 21 games left on their schedule to play. Right? I think they have 89 points. Right? 21 games is a possible 42 points added to their 89. Now, I'm not saying they're going to win all those games, though. They would literally have to win every single game. But they're still going to win most of those games, is my point. They're going to have well over 100 points this season. Well over 100 points. But again, the shocking thing for me when it comes to the National Hockey League this year is what in the blue hell happened to the Florida Panthers? Oh, man. How did they go from...
You're going to have to tell me that one, because I don't know what's going on.
Well, I mean, back-to-back Stanley Cup champions, and then this year they're the bottom of the division? Like, what? Instead, the other Florida team, Tampa Bay. Well, I don't know if they lost anybody. I don't know if they've lost anybody from that team. Right? And even the Toronto Maple Leafs. Even the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, I know they lost Mitch Marner, but I mean, that's one player. And they went from being in the semifinals last year in the playoffs to almost the bottom of their division. Like, what? So now they're talking about a complete rebuild in Toronto, which means they're probably going to absolutely suck for the next 4 or 5 seasons, because that's what happens during that kind of a transition. But I don't disagree, though. They need to get some young blood in there, and if I were them, I'd also trade Austin Matthews. Oh, he's awesome, but he's not going to be able to help them. And Austin Matthews, is good enough. He deserves to go play for that, unless he chooses to stay. If he chooses... I don't know. That's what I'm saying. If he chooses to stay, then I'm okay with that. He's a world-class player. But exactly. Otherwise, let him go win a Stanley Cup somewhere.
He's not going to win anything, but
not right now. Not for the next probably 4 or 5 seasons. To even consider the possibility of that, now that they want to do a complete rebuild, right? He's not getting any younger. That's another 4 or 5 years off his career. So I say, get rid of him. Let him go. Let him do his thing. It gives you more money in your salary cap, and you can pick up some prospects. And for God's sakes, get some fucking goaltending. Their goaltending is atrocious. You can't win games. It's great that you can score 4, 5, and 6 goals in a game, but if you're also allowing 4, 5, and 6 goals a game, that ain't working. I hate to tell you, but that is not working. Not working at all. So, I mean, I've always been a Toronto Maple Leaf fan, just simply because that's the team I grew up. That's my whole family likes the Toronto Maple Leafs. So that's just, it is what it is. I'm not, it's in the family, and I'm not going to change that, right? I also like other teams as well, obviously. And if it's playoff time, I'll root for any Canadian team. But I like all hockey teams. But Toronto just happens to be my main supported and favorite team. Unfortunately, they disappoint me year after year. Yeah, even though they disappoint me year after year. They haven't won a Stanley Cup since, it's been almost 60 years. Next year will be 60 years since they won a Stanley Cup.
Tag is made. What's going to happen here?
That's ridiculous.
That's a joke. That's a joke.
Yeah, that's like Arsenal.
Massive miscalculation on that
one.
one.
We've won
And
trophies,
a kick.
though.
Yeah, I know.
We haven't won the Premier League in like 20 years.
Yeah.
Peerless position for him to be in here. What a way to get out of that one.
But yeah, I think it's time for a rebuild and try to build a strong team for the future. And
Disrupt that attack. Drop kick from behind.
well, I mean, I had to drag them in.
You can support more than, the thing is, you can support more than one thing. Like,
If I'm going down, I'm dragging your ass with me, Luke. How dare you? You should know that.
And Tom
you
Page
can support
for
more than one
leaving
thing.
an
You
opening.
don't want to leave people that believe you can only support one thing, and that's whatever you believe is fair enough, I guess. I'm just saying, like,
How boring is that, though? If you only support one team and you don't care about other teams, you don't watch other teams play. What fun is that? Are you really a fan of the sport at that point?
well, you can still support one.
Getting him
You can
right
still be
into
a
the
one team
corner.
man and support one team. If you watch another team, you still enjoy the team.
Yeah, see, that's why I don't like the term support. Because it should be a favorite, and you support other teams as well.
One step ahead with the takedown.
Arsenal's your favorite team, but you can also support and watch other games.
I support Bruce
Absolutely planted.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, you do.
Not my first team. Like,
No, I think everybody knows that.
so I'm hitting my...
Everybody knows that, just like everybody knows that, you know, Mickie James is your favorite wrestler of all time. Or favorite female wrestler of all time, anyways. Is she your favorite of all time, or just favorite female? Because I guess your favorite male wrestler was Kane, right? And your dad's
When I was a kid, yeah.
your dad was the Undertaker.
Dad's Undertaker, mine was Kane.
Gets driven into the corner.
My favorite male wrestler of all time is actually
There's
changed.
the backbreaker.
It is Triple H now. But it was Kane when I
Fist
first
right
started.
across the
Triple H, yeah.
collarbone.
Kane still remains one of my favorites.
These combatants have stretched their limits here. And
It's wild how some people will say that Triple H was never that good, never won any big matches and all that jazz. I don't know where they get that from.
It's because I don't like how he...
German suplex.
Well, and he also became Vince's son-in-law too, right? And that kind of
But it looks like he still has some gas left.
maybe didn't eventually sit well with people or whatever. But I mean,
Don't get me wrong, Triple H does that.
Great response to AJ there.
but I mean, there was lots of exciting moments with Triple H, especially during his run as the Game. That was probably the best version of Triple H. Because the King of Kings was just an enhancement of the Game, is all that was. But I'll be honest though.
He was the best wrestler. Just like the best.
Showing no signs
Yeah.
of defense here, guys.
I'll be honest though. I also liked Hunter Hearst Helmsley when he first came in.
Inside
I liked that aristocrat gimmick.
Still anybody's match at this point.
I thought it was cool. And I thought he did a good job with it. And he was obnoxious as all hell back then. But that's what made the gimmick work. And you know, without Hunter Hearst Helmsley, there's no Triple H. So, you know, because that, you know, he was gone for a while and came back as just Triple H. So it was an evolution of Hunter Hearst Helmsley. I wonder how he chose his name, because everybody knows his name is Paul Levesque, right? But I wonder how that came up. Like, obviously Triple H obviously came because Hunter Hearst Helmsley is 3 H's. So and that's what I say. The Triple H character was just an enhancement, an evolution of Hunter Hearst Helmsley is all that was. I'll be honest, the period of time there were times I did and did not like Triple H is during the whole Degeneration X phase. There were times I thought he acted too stupid and quirky after what he built himself into. I liked Degeneration X. I didn't like how goofy Triple H would become. After all that time legitimizing himself and proving himself and, you know, and then to just act sometime, not all the time. Like I said, there were lots of times where I also enjoyed him as part of DX. But there were times I'd be watching Degeneration X and thinking, why do they have Triple H acting so stupid? Like, it makes sense with Shawn Michaels, right? He's the boy toy, he's the showstopper, the show-off, whatever you want. Name your cliche of Shawn Michaels back in the day, but it makes sense for him to be goofy sometimes and goof around and stuff like that. With Triple H, it always just seemed quirky and awkward in a way. And then later on, as part of DX, of course, he kind of dropped that stuff, right? And he was just the game partnered with HBK and Road Dogg and Billy Gunn. So, but there was that. They could be serious or goofy. That's what made them such a good faction. Is, you know, they could be either or. From week to week, at some point, you didn't even know what you were going to get, the serious DX or if you're going to get the goofy joking around DX. And I guess that was sort of intriguing as well, right? You're going to tune in to see, well, what's DX going to do this week? I got to tell you, one of the biggest fumbles back in the day, I think, was not when. Remember when DX went to the arena where WCW was having a show?
Yeah.
They should have worked something out back then and allowed a crossover match, man. Like, it's because Vince wouldn't allow it. Ted Turner would have done that in a heartbeat. Are you kidding me? Do you know how good that'd be for both sides as far as ratings go, to have DX show up at WCW, then the next week WCW shows up over in WWF? How they didn't do that is beyond me, man. Beyond me.
But if we're in competition, we're at war, right? If I just let you in to my company.
But they were invading, right? They were there for war, as part of the Monday Night War, so they should have.
They were fucking. They got to the shutters. They could have got in. They could have got in. That's the funny part about it.
Yeah, they could have. Yeah.
They fucking didn't think Kev talked.
Put into the corner. What could be next?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, like Kevin Nash and Triple H and Shawn, they tried to get something to happen, but nothing ever came to fruition. Nothing ever materialized. So, I gotta tell you, the tag team matches tonight have been absolutely epic. This has been a fantastic match too. The Team Arsenal versus MFT here. This has been great. What a great show so far. We haven't even got to our championship matches yet. We had the one singles match, but they've been tag team and faction matches all night so far, and it's been absolutely off the wall. I've enjoyed every match so far. I can't even pick so far anyways. I can't even pick a best match of the day so far. They've just been superb.
What was really funny about that when they showed up at WCW, and they were asking like fans, did you buy your ticket to WCW?
Yeah.
Like, no, I didn't. I spent up to that. Someone said it.
Yeah. That's funny. But yeah, they should have absolutely found a way to pull the trigger on that. The fact that they didn't, to this very day, I don't get how they didn't take advantage of that situation. You know why they didn't, though. Like I said, that's all Vince McMahon right there. you know, he'd have to be showcasing somebody else's show on the show that he considers superior to every other wrestling show. And that was the problem with Vince. Because let's be honest, behind the scenes, he always worked with certain promotions. He brought people back from ROH back in the day, brought people in from TNA back in the day, brought people in from New Japan Pro Wrestling back in the day. You know what I mean? Those things happened, but never openly like they do now with the TNA partnership and the AAA partnership. And if they had been smart enough to do that back, I'm telling you, WCW wouldn't have, their ratings would have went back up. Their ratings would have went back up, because once WWF started to smash WCW in ratings, that was it. 83 weeks and it was over. WWF took over and never looked back. And WCW started doing the most ridiculous things with their show and their pay-per-views and their product, and was starting to turn people off. Just like that time where they tried to spoil the Mick Foley winning the WWF Championship match. Well, it backfired because they lost viewership. People tuned in to Monday Night Raw, which was recorded then, right? Nitro was live, but Raw was recorded, which is how they were able to try and pull that off. But all people did was turn the channel. They turned the channel. And they went and watched Mick Foley win Mankind at the time, win the WWF Championship belt. The other thing, you know, there were other things too. There was the ridiculousness, the hatred and ridiculousness that's spewed into the ring between Russo and Hogan, and there was putting the belt on David Arquette, and there's so many stupid things that should have never happened. They did. They ruined WCW. And then, of course, there was the AOL Time Warner merger, and that's basically when they decided to sell WCW, because AOL, which was merging with Time Warner, didn't really want to be involved with pro wrestling. See, nowadays, it'd be the opposite. They would absolutely want to. But things have changed so much, right? So things have changed. But yeah, they should have absolutely pulled the trigger on that back then. You know how entertaining it would have been, again, to watch D-Generation X show up and try to take over Nitro. The next week, they send the NWO over to attack D-Generation X on Monday Night Raw. Like, it just would have been phenomenal. And like I said, it likely would have improved ratings again for both sides. It would have been good for both sides had they have done that. But it is what it is. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that there was quite a few of them that actually tried to make something happen through all of that. And the fans wanted it. We all know the fans wanted it. They were down. They were down for a war between WWF and WCW. But Vince McMahon, he always had to have that forbidden door closed. Unless it was convenient for him, he wanted nothing to do with other promotions. His promotion was the only promotion. There was no other promotion. There was no other competition. Especially after they beat WCW. They got worse after that, right? So, you know, we slowly ended up in a PG era, for fuck's sake. Which they're still slowly pulling out of. They're not fully out of it yet. I don't know. They are pushing the envelope. Like, people are starting to curse and things are happening slowly, but and they keep announcing a new era. So we know we're on our way out of it, but the PG era was way too long. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. What was your favorite moment in the Attitude Era?
Mine,
probably what?
Probably great moment. We've got Austin McMahon. We've got The Rock and Austin. We've got Undertaker.
Clubbing blow.
Mankind. You've got Undertaker. You've got like.
Into the turnbuckle yet again. Into an overhead suplex. You saw that being telegraphed. Being set up in the corner for something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Drop kick. Oh, right.
One of my favorite moments in wrestling history, period, was still probably when Chris Jericho beat The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin in the same night.
Chris Jericho beat The Rock and Stone Cold.
He's just waiting for that perfect
That was amazing. And nobody thought that was going to happen, right? Like, that was a huge shocker that even happened to begin with. So. What about you, Moon? You got a favorite moment from the Attitude Era?
Wide open. This is not good.
Moon Raider.
To the gut.
Calling Moon Raider. How dare you, Moon Raider? Anybody else in the chat, if you want to answer that question, feel free. Feel free. By the way, there's the blackjack numbers. You got to beat 18. Tie or beat 18.
Tagging out.
I can't remember what the dice are. I'm sure it's popped up. Lotto numbers are 10, 25, and 5.
To the arm.
And it looks like the dice are 3 and a 5. So you only have to beat 3 and a 5. You could get a pair of 1s, a pair of 2s, a 4 and a 5. I mean, there's lots of ways to beat a 3 and a 5, right? So that game's up in the air. If you haven't seen what superstar you are yet for the day, you can always do that. Exclamation point superstar. See what animal you can transform into. Exclamation point animagus. And then, of course... Oh, that is it. That is all. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the six-man tag team matchup, representing Team Hardcore Country Luke, Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, Will Ospreay, and AJ Styles, the phenomenal one. They are known as Team Arsenal. And they just scored a big win in the six-man tag team matchup over MFT. Solo Sikoa, Talatonga, and Tamatonga. So congratulations to Hardcore Country Luke and, of course, Team Arsenal. Team Chelsea, of course, doing very well, of course. Team Chelsea are now all holding championship belts. Team Arsenal has but one. And that is the Gooners TWA Television Championship at the moment. He's, of course, going to be defending that belt later on in our co-main event against All Ego Ethan Page. And, of course, Selena Price, the number one contender and contract case holder, looking to challenge Queen Dust for the TWA Women's World's Championship in our main event today. Lots of fuel being added to the fire as we head to this weekend's Glory Road, that's for sure. Team Arsenal with a victory.
That's a big victory for these three here tonight. Show off, get the W, and get not a night's work, I'd say.
But yeah, I'm interested to know if Moon Raider has a favorite moment from the Attitude Era. But if anybody else has as well, like I said, feel free to answer in the chat. All right, here we go. Next match of the day and our first championship match of the day for the TWA Women's Speed Championship. It is Julia representing the Outlaws and Team Joe Link challenging Madam MJF Maria Juliette Francis, our current reigning defending TWA Speed Champion. That is our next match of the day. Let's turn and burn. Keep the ball rolling. Turn and burn.
MJF with Madam MJF is getting the W. Even though I like Julia, but Madam MJF's getting the W.
I think she's getting the W too. I do agree with that. Luke, what do you think? Madam MJF or Julia? Who's winning here?
Madam MJF.
Madam MJF. Moon Raider, though, do you have a favorite moment from the Attitude Era?
God, flipping out. Even though I was 2 years, 3 years old back then. 2, 3, 4 years old back then.
Yeah, but I'm sure you've gone back and watched matches and.
Flipping out. I think maybe the Invasion.
When they showed up at WCW Nitro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably most people's favorite, really, to be fair. Well, Luke and I were talking about that. They should have pulled the trigger on that back then. I believe Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Kevin Nash, and some people involved actually did try to make something happen, but it was a no-go with Vince McMahon was the problem. So.
And they couldn't get in the building, and then they recreated it. The Triple H and his boys did. Well, even with NXT guys, I mean, the black and gold NXT back then, a number of years ago.
Yeah.
It was there on the main roster, I think. It was during the time when if I'm right or not, I think it was during the time when the wrestlers had when there was travel problems.
Yeah, probably, yeah. But I think that's probably most people's favorite. And if they could have pulled that off, that would have been great for both sides. It would have increased ratings largely for both sides because you got DX invading Nitro. Maybe the next week they send NWO over to attack DX on Raw. There's so much that could have been done there. And I highly doubt it, that Ted Turner would have been against that. The only person against that would have been Vince McMahon. And here comes Julia, representing the Outlaws from Team Joe Link. Pardon me?
Julia represents the Outlaws.
Oh yeah, she has for a while. Julia, AJ Lee. Yeah. Julia, AJ Lee, Britt Baker, and of course the Captain, Dangerous Amber Extreme.
Oh, I didn't know about AJ Lee too.
Yeah, that's been for quite a while. At least half the season, I think. Julia's even won championships for them. Yep. She has been. And to be fair, her career has taken off as part of the Outlaws, so a good move for her. Good move for her.
Oh, it feels like good. Feels great. I think Kenny Omega and Omega Jenny is the World Tag Team.
That was awesome, man. That was awesome. I don't think anybody expected TDL to lose those championships, but especially the way the match started, right? Because TDL was kind of all over Team Chelsea in the beginning of the match, but then Oba Femi and Kenny Omega turned things around and just annihilated them for the rest of the match. Kenny Omega, of course, picked up the victory for Team Chelsea to win the championships. So.
And MJF, she has that fucking vibe, like with the Titan showing in the background saying "Los Fafalios."
Yeah.
She has that type of like, and that motion entry. She has that type of, even though she's like in that "don't give a fuck about this, don't give a fuck about that," but like. That don't give a fuck type of shit, like ever since like with her promos, like with her speeches, like, oh, I don't give a shit about the women's division, I don't give a shit about this, I'm here to make my mark or something along them lines.
And of course considers herself a queen too, by the way. I would still like to see Charlotte Flair, Queen Dust, and Madam MJF in the ring together. Triple threat elimination. That'd be a great match. The three queens of TWA.
Queen Dust will be returning to OFW next season.
Oh, nice.
OFW, Shinobi next season. We've got a lot to accomplish there, like World Championship and every other women's title over there outside of the US title.
5 minutes are about to go up on the clock here shortly, and it'll be off to the races, quite literally. I still think Madam MJF's winning this match, though. Julia's been really good this season, and she's a great wrestler, but Madam MJF on a different level right now, I think.
Oh, and even Julia on CCW as a former women's champion.
That's right. That's right.
It's all the like with the shows being missed. Like if they're missed or something, they get shown onto YouTube as like different ways.
Teasing Julia with that belt. She's like, yeah, I want that. But Madam MJF is not going to roll over and play dead. She better be ready for a fight. And this is a speed match, so you know it's going to be high octane, very fast paced. You got to have shit worked out in your head.
Oh, this is what you call starting off a rap match like that.
Really?
Locking horns.
Absolutely not, Saxon.
Locking
I'd be doing a
horns.
disservice to my sources.
Yeah, I had to, I mean, I had food just a little while ago, I did.
You had food? What'd you have?
Yeah, I had noodles. I didn't want to have food today because I didn't feel as great, like through other carriers sort of thing.
Yeah, we understand. You don't want to be like Luke and, you know, eat on the broadcast booth and then belch in everybody's ear when you're finished.
That's why I've been typing. That's why I've been typing a little on the chat for a moment. So I've been
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
like, should I say, in and out from the phone?
Oh, famouser from Madam MJF.
I say it's gonna this match would end with only just 2 minutes left. I think.
There's more frustration
Or maybe
or
1 minute.
desperation in the ring now, knowing that you've tried to end
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember what the fastest match time was.
Oh my! Inflicting pain at will.
I was watching Leeds
Oh,
United,
double knees right to the spine.
Had the foresight to get out of that one.
We can hear Hardcore Country Mama in the background. Hardcore Country Luke, Hardcore Country Mama.
What's funny?
She gets around the attack. Ooh, merciless looking blow.
Calls her what?
Being tossed through the back suplex.
I used to like me as a kid back then. Like me didn't know what me was just like like with John Cena. Like me being a fan of John Cena, I get mad about John Cena losing. Like me as a kid back then, like 20 years ago. And even like with what's that name, Mickey James, I wasn't like me as a kid. Wasn't as like a fan, but like wasn't like she was playing the heel character back then. She was, and I was just like. Mickey James, I'm not the biggest fan of Mickey James, I don't like her sort of thing. But then again, me as an adult now, she, like, I loved her work back then, like 20 years ago. Like, she looked freaking phenomenal back then, and she still looks great now.
Yeah, she does, yeah. Definitely no denying that.
What you're saying now is you're a fan of
Trap the arm into the hammerlock.
Yeah, I always liked Mickey James. I like even though like me as like a kid back then, like 20 years ago, it's just like, oh, I didn't like Victoria, I didn't like Melina, oh, I didn't like I liked Kelly, Ashley Massaro, God rest her soul as well. Ashley Massaro.
Yeah, Ashley Massaro, yeah. She was good, actually. Yeah, very. Yeah. Yep, that was a loss to the women's division for sure. No matter what promotion.
She's able to seize the opportunity, but she's got to keep up the pressure.
Oh, that was a good fucking a good counter from MJF.
Wow. And that is it. That is all, ladies and gentlemen. The winner of the match and your new TWA Speed Champion, representing the Outlaws and Team Joe Link, Julia, with the big win over Maria Juliet Francis. Congratulations to the Outlaws and Team Joe Link. Hopefully that makes up for, you know, Phenomenal Soul not faring so well in the Tone Setter the night. TDL kind of annihilated them by the end of that matchup and picked up the win over Phenomenal Soul in the Tone Setter of the day. But a big win from Julia, though, and bringing home some gold to the Outlaws.
It's more gold to the Outlaws right now.
Yeah. Great speed match. It was under the 2 minute mark, though. So you're wrong about that.
That that was a perfect counter from fucking MJF. As Julia was going to go for the, I think it's the knee to the face finisher.
Yeah.
Which is the Arriba di Cursi, which is what she calls it.
Well, big win for Julia, that's for sure. And again, like we were just saying, bringing home some gold to the Outlaws. So I'm sure Team Joe Link will be happy about that. Not so happy about the Tone Center, but happy that Julia has come through for the Outlaws for Team Joe Link. So congratulations again. All right, here we go. Is our next match of the day. This is for the Women's Television Championship, the TWA Television Championship on the line. It is Rhea Bloody Ripley representing Sinister Square from Team Soul Embers, taking on Anna Jay from TDL. That is our next match of the day. Let's keep the ball rolling. And, of course, it is the beginning of the betting round, so I'm going to get a betting line open just in case anybody wants to bet on the matchup.
I've just seen Barcelona like 4 goals down or something.
4 goals down against who?
Atletico Madrid.
Wow. That sucks, being down 4-0.
Yeah.
All right, so who walks out TWA Television Champion? Is it going to be Rhea Ripley? Or Anna Jay?
This one, I wouldn't mind either way.
Anna Jay, of course.
It doesn't matter to me if it's Anna Jay or Rhea.
Anna Jay, of course, the reigning defending TWA Television Champion.
How do you feel we're with Barcelona 4 goals down in the Copa Rare, aggregate 4-0 to Atletico Madrid? Do you think Barcelona can make some sort of comeback or not?
And there we go. Betting lines are open. 10 minutes to get those bets in. Who's walking out TWA Television Champion? Rhea Bloody Ripley or Anna Jay, the reigning defending champion? We're going to find out right now. Let's go. Well, what do you guys think? Oh, Moon Raider doesn't care. He likes both. Both are definitely capable of winning this matchup.
One of them is like one of my favorites. Like one of my favorites.
Yeah. But I mean,
and the other is a tag team partner of Queen Dust over in LCW.
To be fair, it's a tough one to bet on. But Luke, what do you think? Anna Jay or Rhea Ripley? You think Rhea Ripley's going to upset Anna Jay? All right. This one's a tough one for me as well. But I do feel like Anna Jay retains her title. I don't know. So far, 50 TWA coins in the jackpot. But the betting lines are definitely open. So open those big fat wallets. Still 8.5 minutes to get bets in. Lots of time to try and get a slice of that pie. Lots of time. Rhea Bloody Ripley. What's that?
Queen Dust's main event.
They are, yeah. They are the main event. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier, but I think you were busy at the time. I don't think you were involved in the conversation Luke and I were having.
So the next one is for the other television title, which is the men's one.
It is.
The main event.
Yep, all ego Ethan Page versus Luke the Gooner. And here she comes. She is the TWA Underground Submission Champion and the reigning defending TWA Television Champion. Representing TDL, it is Anna Jay. a double champion is Anna Jay.
I don't want to talk about hockey right now, but who's your secondary teammate?
You talking to me or you?
I think I would get like. I think I would be a little play a little smart. Montreal Canadiens, maybe.
Yeah.
Unless if there's like any other teams that I've known for a while, then I would go.
Okay.
If it was if it's the NBA with the secondary teams, it will be what's it called, like Brooklyn Nets, or like the one that's got owns Madison Square Garden. I used to like the Clippers when Blake Griffin was there.
Yeah. Lakers got a rivalry in
I still have to put Anna Jay in the Hall of Legendary Accomplishments section because she's a Triple Crown champion. In hockey, I would probably say the Edmonton Oilers as second. Yeah.
You support the Edmonton Oilers, yeah?
Yep. As far as United States hockey teams go, I always liked the New York Rangers.
I like the LA Kings, man.
Yeah, I like the Kings too. Especially, Gretzky played for the LA Kings for a time period, so yeah, I like the LA Kings as well. LA used to always have great teams. New York Rangers used to have great teams as well. They, of course, won the Stanley Cup in, 94? I think it was 1994. They won the Stanley Cup. They had, like, Mark Messier and everybody on that team. It was crazy. It was a completely stacked team. I'm surprised they lost any games, to be fair.
Yeah, Wolves are playing Liverpool. Let's see how many goals
they're playing them today?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. It's interesting. I did not know that.
Everything's scored because I've seen it in the chat.
So Anna Jay, our newest Triple Crown champion, I just haven't put her in the Hall of Legendary Accomplishments yet. I still have to do that. So she's also, of course, eligible to compete in the Legends division now. Deepens the roster in the Women's Legends division. A great addition is Anna Jay. One count only. So far, a tough matchup for both sides. Another one of those matches where really nobody's had control of the matchup for any great length of time. It's just been kind of a back and forth affair so far. But a great matchup so far between Rhea Ripley and Anna Jay for the TWA Television Championship. Ooh! Like a diving clothesline. That was crazy. Flying, I suppose. Shouldn't dive off anything. Another counter by Rhea Ripley. That's what I mean. It's been back and forth. A little bit of ground and pound by Rhea Ripley. Moon Raider, of course, thinks Rhea Ripley is going to become the new TWA Television Champion. I believe as does Luke. For me, it's one of those difficult matches you'd like to see both win, really. Still only 50 TWA coins in the jackpot. A little over 2 minutes left. Only one can win, yeah. Only one can survive. There can be only one TWA television champion.
Up and around and down.
Rhea Ripley, of course, would love to take that TWA television championship back to Sinister Square and Team Soul Embers. Nice evasion by Rhea Ripley. Wow. Burying that boot right in the throat of Anna Jay.
You're not going to find fans showing any remorse.
This is a bad position for the champ to be in now. And as this fight goes on, Rhea is reaching new levels of brutality.
Rhea Ripley in control of the match for the moment anyways. So far, I think she's had longer control of the matchup than either have had throughout the rest of the matchup. Wow, a superplex by Rhea Ripley. Wow. A frog splash by Rhea Ripley. Only a 2 count though. Oni sent that to you?
Mickey James wrestling in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I think I knew that.
I haven't seen I've seen a wrestling.
Oh, and you call yourself a Mickey James fan. That is shameful. Oh, look at that! That is it. That is all, ladies and gentlemen. The winner by submission and your new TWA television champion representing TDL and Team Mufasa HCC. I was about to announce Anna Jay as the winner, even though I was, that's not who won the matchup. Representing Sinister Square and Team Soul Embers, mind you. Wow. I don't know why I was going there. But anyways, it is Rhea Bloody Ripley with a big win over TDL's Anna Jay. Down to 2 championships is Anna Jay. But nonetheless, one of our newest Triple Crown champions. She just has not been placed in there yet. I should probably get that done. She is now eligible. What match did he say? Like, who's she facing? You'll have to watch it. I mean, to be honest, I haven't seen all of the matches she ever had in Ring of Honor either. I knew she was there. No, I know. Yeah. Yeah. Well, there you have it. We crown a new TWA television champion in Sinister Square's Rhea Bloody Ripley. Taking some gold home to Team Soul Embers. Congratulations again. But now it's co-main event time for Wrestle Wars Genesis. And this time it is the men's turn. It is Luke the Gooner putting his TWA television championship on the line against All Ego Ethan Page, who's coming off a big win over the one Elijah Archer from TWA Underground. Well, that is our next match of the day. I'll get the payout issued for the last matchup and open a new betting line. Mind you, I think there was only one bet. I think there was only one. Once it stops messing with me anyway. I'm trying to issue the payout, but it's... Oh, there we go. So Rhea Bloody Ripley was the victor. And I'll open up the new betting line. Who walks out TWA Television Champion? Is it going to be All Ego Ethan Page? Or Luke the Gooner?
It'll be Luke.
Who is, of course, your reigning defending TWA Television Champion. 10 minutes to make your bets, as always. And there we go. Betting line is open. And here we go. It's All Ego Ethan Page versus Luke the Gooner. TWA Television Championship is on the line. Let's go. Rhea Ripley won, yeah.
Yeah, I told you, didn't I?
Yeah, so did Moonrader. He chose Rhea Ripley too.
I actually called it. Oh, I actually said that.
And Moonrader, what about this one? Luke, of course, is going with, obviously, with Luke the Gooner. But what do you think? All Ego Ethan Page, the man that just beat the one Elijah Archer on Sunday at TWA Underground? Or the reigning defending champion, Luke the Gooner? Who's walking out TWA Television Champion, Moon? How dare you disappear again? I mean, I didn't think he'd beat Archer in their little feud they had going on there, but he did. I don't know. I would like to see the Gooner beat the shit out of All Ego Ethan Page here, to be honest. So if I'm being forced to make a bet, I'm going with the reigning defending champion. With a retain over Ethan Page. But we shall see what happens. We shall see what happens.
Yeah, I like Ethan. He's very good. Ethan's great, but if you don't watch NXT, watch some Ethan Page stuff.
In other news, I think I mentioned it at the beginning of the show anyways, but not everybody's always here at the very beginning of the show. Yeah, the Gooner is still with the contract case. His last heavyweight championship matchup was simply because he was the #1 contender, so he did not have to utilize his contract case. So he still has a TWA World's Heavyweight Championship title match at any time of his choosing. You know, Glory Road is this weekend, Luke. Might be a good time to cash that in for a shot at El Grande. El Grande's beaten pretty much everybody, so there is no clear-cut #1 contender right now, so it's an even better time to cash it in, I would think. Yeah.
I think we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
And this time beat El Grande, perhaps. El Grande's been TWA World Heavyweight Champion now for 88 days. 88 days. From Manchester, England. Luke the Gooner. Actually, they always announce him as Luke the Goon Balmer. But it is Luke the Gooner.
And the champ is staring daggers right back at the opposition.
Hey, Collie got both them. Hardcore, Luke the Gooner, hardcore, country Luke.
Luke looking to continue, of course, the success of Team Arsenal here tonight with a title retention over Ethan Page if he's able to get the job done and complete his agenda. all 4 members would have had a great night. Let's see what happens. Again, Ethan Page coming off a big victory over Elijah Archer. Could still be riding a high from that. You never know what his mindset is. But the Gooner will surprise you. You never know what the Gooner's going to do. Very unorthodox. He's easily... I believe he must hold the record for the most multi-man match victories, I think. Oh, absolutely. Between gauntlets, you know, between... I know. Between gauntlets that he's won, and just multi-man matches in general, like Elimination Royales and 5-man matchups, and... You know, he's just won Battle Royals. He's won Battle Royals. You know what I mean? He's won so many different types of multi-man matches. It's absolutely insane, actually. Wow. Diving clothesline from the top to the outside. And Ethan Page got right back up like that didn't even happen. What do you think, Moonrader? Ethan Page or Gooner? You're going Gooner? Luke obviously went with Gooner. I think he was tempted to go for Ethan Page, though. Diving shoulder block.
Ethan Page is like one of my favorites.
Ethan Page is just really, really good. He's going to be a world champion, I guarantee you. Guarantee you.
He's got it wouldn't surprise me if Ethan Page is one of the calls after that.
Yeah, no, I agree. And should be, for that matter. And they should keep him working with Chelsea Green. They made a good duo. They made a great duo. And of course they're both Canadian. So that's fun. Oh! Ran right into the referee. Referee shook it off. At least she didn't get knocked out or anything. I hate when that happens. Oh, look at this! Oh, the Ego's Edge. Oh!
Plus, West Ham against Brentford from the London Stadium on Monday, so it's a busy old time. Premier League, FA Cup, and oh, by the way, the Champions League.
Thought we were getting a new champion there. We might see a new champion.
Sorry about that. I had to switch controllers quickly. I was actually talking about that earlier with Luke and Moon. Sadly, my good controller has stick drift. It's got something wrong with it, and it just isn't functioning correctly anymore. And it's the one that literally lasts for hours. Yeah.
The only proof things like on games that basically where I get stick drift outside of
Yeah, it's annoying because it's literally the controller that lasts the longest. It's got the best battery. It's newer. It's the one the Honeybee sent me, actually, and it's worked beautifully up until now. Suddenly, it has stick drift, and it's like, man, I don't have the correct tools to try and take that apart. Not to mention, taking controllers apart is tricky, because if the wrong pieces start falling out, it takes you forever to get it back together. Gooner making a comeback here, laying the smack it down on Ethan Page right now. 2 count only, though. Page evades the flying body splash. Oh, look at this calf crusher. They're right beside the ropes, though. Yeah, that's what I thought. Rope break. I kind of thought that was going to happen. It is very lucky for Ethan Page. I think if Luke had locked that in, it would have been game over. would have been game over. Man. Yeah.
That helps with this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, tea's good for you in general. It's got antioxidants and stuff in it. Tea's actually... More people should drink tea, but not everybody likes tea, so... Tea's good for you. To an extent, obviously. Almost anything, whether it's good for you or bad for you, for that matter, can be over-consumed. The ego's edge again. Wow, that is it. That is all. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match and your new TWA television champion, representing Team Ace Hunter and the Ego Club. All Ego, Ethan Page, your new TWA television champion. Congratulations. Holy hell. You guys were wrong. You guys were wrong, and not every champion has lost their championship so far. To Selena Price. That's our next matchup. That is our next matchup. The main event is next. But we're also going to begin the quarterfinals of a tournament. And then the semifinals and tournament finals will be... I don't know if I'm going to do it before or after Glory Road. Stay tuned for that. But we're gonna start the quarterfinals following Wrestle Wars Genesis. I'm just trying to issue the payout here. Winner of the match was Ethan Page, our new reigning defending TWA television champion. And there we go. I'll open up the betting line for the final match of the day. All Ego Ethan Page, again representing Team Ace Hunter and the Ego Club. Zach Payne will be very happy when Ethan brings that championship belt back to the Ego Club. All right. Here we go. It's main event time. And in our main event of the day, the contract case holder, number one contender, Selena Price, taking on Queen Dust for the TWA World's Women's Heavyweight Championship. That is next. And I'll, of course, get a betting line open. I'm in the process of doing that right now. Our final betting line of the day. Who's walking out TWA World's Champion? Is it going to be Selena Price, representing Team Ace Hunter and Ego's Paradise? Her partner in crime, of course, Callie Carter. We're all very familiar with Callie Carter. Multiple-time champion is Callie Carter. Selena Price has been absolutely on fire here in Season 6. Alright, 10 minutes to get your bets in, as always. And there we go. Betting line is open for the main event. Selena Price, Queen Dust, TWA Women's World's Heavyweight Championship on the line. Let's turn and burn. It is showtime and go time. All right, here we go. It is a straight up one-on-one matchup. Who is going to leave the better Vixen Villain of the Day. She is the reigning defending TWA Speed Champion. Speed Tag Team Champion, anyways. She is a Speed Tag Team Champion with her partner in crime, Callie Carter. But nonetheless, she is a Speed Champion. A champion versus champion affair, if you will. A tag team champion versus a world's heavyweight champion.
And Queen Dust is also the North American Legends North American champion.
She is. She is a double champion. And speaking of, there it is. The TWA North American Championship. Legends North American Championship. You'd have to check the former champion section. She wouldn't be in there in a recent entry because she's still the champion, but it would tell you how many times she's been champion, though. Obviously, you would just add 1 to whatever the number is because she's currently the reigning defending champion, but...
Say that she had 1 reigning champion.
Yeah. Yeah, that's because the remainder of the former champions list is in the former show section now because I had to create a new one. So under former shows, it'll say former TWA World Champions or whatever on Discord. Might be under TWA history, actually. That would make sense. And then she might have been a TAW champion too, if you look. That would be in there. So is WCW. She's held this championship for a bit now.
This is arguably the biggest challenge the champion has faced yet. You can feel it.
Yeah, she's been the women's world champion now for quite some time. It's been over a month, for sure. And she's already defended this championship. This isn't her first championship defense. Not her first defense. Did they?
Yeah, they're leading there.
Wrenching the arm with the hammerlock.
That's on fucking Sports Channel right now.
What other games are on right now?
Point of the elbow finds the mark.
Luke's been holding out on us.
Collar and elbow tie up. Cagey maneuver there to get out of that.
We have
flipping the script with a headline.
Bournemouth versus Brentford, Everton versus Burnley, Leeds United versus Sunderland, and
Out of that is locked in the head scissors.
And Liverpool.
Nice. And what are the scores?
Bournemouth,
the challenger unable to stay out of harm's way.
Square
Nothing she hasn't faced before. She should be fine.
So are there a draw right now?
By 2-0 at the 61st minute against Burnley. Leeds and Sunderland 0-0, and same goes for Liverpool.
Wolves and Liverpool. Liverpool needs to win this game. Because Wolves keep drawing and or beating teams they shouldn't be beating or drawing.
That was pretty.
Liverpool's, of course, at this point looking to get up into the top 4, right? They're 5th. They're just ahead of Chelsea.
Hit that with everything and following it with the pin. It's not over yet. Plenty left to go in this one. Standing shooting
down
star press, incredible.
It's incredible the inventiveness we are seeing on display here.
Winning by 2-0.
A knee drop delivered. So precise.
We've 45 minutes.
Punch after punch after punch.
45 minutes.
Just getting pummeled as the champion was unable to return fire.
What was it added for?
Strength here.
Basically added time.
And now she's in full defense mode.
Can she recover from this? That's the question.
Like due to delays in the game or something? I never did quite understand how they end up adding minutes. Yeah, but why do they end up adding minutes to begin with? Like, no other game does that. Nobody adds minutes. Oh, because they keep the clock going, so they have to add that back, type of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, that makes sense.
Oh, too fast.
See, I'm still learning some things. I've only been watching it a lot for the last 2-3 years, right? So I'm still learning some stuff about the game and some of the histories of the other teams and.
Close to ending it all there. She has no idea.
Just like that conversation of who the true first North London team was. You know, people had their opinions on that, and I mean they had historical facts and stuff like that too. Whatever. But
I mean, they didn't really know who the first North London team was.
Well placed elbow to break up the maneuver.
The biggest team is Arsenal.
Yeah. Yeah, by far. I'm sure they don't even argue that.
Muscling up their opponent.
I'm sure they don't argue that fact.
The Tottenham fans that will tell you that
capitalize on that move.
Title still hangs in the balance. What does she have to do to put her away?
I'm asking myself the same question. I have no idea.
She was ready with the counter.
Maybe even though it is basically
she's looking to end her right now.
European honors so far.
Selena Price is giving Queen Dust a good run here.
This could be fatigue finally truly settling in.
Fucking basement dropkick right to the side of the head.
Ouch.
Oh, she missed. She missed. Landed with nobody home there. And Queen Dust hadn't even moved at the time. She didn't even get a chance to move it away. She just flat out somehow missed the mark.
Connects. Attack to the midsection.
14, 44, 37. Unlucky. I think it's 10, 25, and 5. Which I would have pinned to the top, but for some reason, I think mods can do it. I think anybody that's a mod can pin a message. But for some reason, I can't pin a message anymore. It's weird.
Has to find a way out of this.
It won't let you either? Well, that's weird.
It retaliates with a kick.
What about you, Luke? Can you do it?
Hooking it up.
Well, you know why, because you're a VIP.
The challenger might have what it takes to win this. There's two. Kick out.
Oh, kicked out again.
We knew it was not going to be
can you pin a message as a mod? Like, for instance, the lotto numbers there. See if it'll let you pin the message.
Submission is in. Submission locked in. She's holding on with everything she's got, but can her. She releases the hold. No harm in
I see that.
things up if a submission isn't working the way you want it to.
It's not tapping though, and she let go. Well, it depends what device if you're doing it on your phone, you just hold the message down and then it give you the option to pin.
What the hell was that?
I don't know.
Outrageous balance on display and drops the elbow.
Oh, dropped an elbow that time right to the chesticles. Wow, that is it. That is all. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match and your new TWA World's Heavyweight Champion, representing Team Ace Haunter and Ego's Paradise, it is Selena Price, becoming a double champion because she is also one half of the TWA Speed Tag Team Champions with Callie Carter. Congratulations to Selena Price. Bet your ass Queen Dust will want a rematch at Glory Road. You watch. She's a reigning defending champion, not just a champion. So she does get that right to call for a rematch. If you win a championship and lose it your next match, that is not grounds for a rematch. Unless you were somehow screwed out of that championship, which does happen from time to time. We all know that. The referees are ghastly at times. But a brand new TWA Women's World's Heavyweight Champion crowned. And it is the self-proclaimed TWA Queen that has lost the match, unfortunately, today. Dethroned by the fast-rising Selena Price, who has done a fantastic job of balancing both singles competition and tag team competition. Not everybody can do that. It's impressive. The Chaotic Nightmare is the top dog in the yard right now, holding the top prize. Although some would argue that is the Legends Championship. Some would argue that it is the Legends Championship. Ultimately, it's mostly because the TWA World's Heavyweight Championship is the oldest championship, so... Actually, it's not. It's the second oldest. That's not even true. The television championship is actually older than the World's Heavyweight Championship, which is why so many people like to win that championship. But that is it. That's all for Wrestle Wars Genesis. It is in the books, and every single championship changed hands. That's kind of crazy, isn't it? That is kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. Let's have a look at the matches for the day, shall we? Once it allows us to do so. There we go. So again, we started off the day with Phenomenal Soul versus TDL, and TDL ended up picking up the big W. Sarah Santana got back to her winning ways, goes 5-2 after picking up a big win over the Juggernaut, Jordan Grace. The Coalition finally pick up a win. It's been a moment. I mean, the Coalition have been doing terrible in Season 6, but a win over the LWO, Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, and of course, Joaquin Wilde. The leaders of Worlds beat the Lucha Brothers, Rey Fenix and Penta. Team Arsenal, Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, Will Ospreay, and the phenomenal AJ Styles picked up a big win over MFT's Solo Sikoa, Talatonga, and Tomatonga. Julia toppled our reigning defending TWA Speed champion Maria Juliet Francis to become the brand new TWA Speed champion. Rhea Bloody Ripley defeated Anna Jay to become the new women's TWA television champion. All Ego Ethan Page, who's been absolutely on fire. Back-to-back huge wins. One over the one Elijah Archer, now over Luke the Gooner for the TWA Television Championship. And of course, last but not least, Selena Price has been absolutely on fire in Season 6. Her dedication to both tag team division and singles competition has been fantastic. She's just been absolutely phenomenal in that ring, no pun intended. the Chaotic Nightmare, Selena Price, our new TWA Women's World's Heavyweight Championship. So Wrestle Wars Genesis is in the books. That's, of course, our final show, our final pit stop before this weekend's TWA's Glory Road. However, we're not done yet. We're going to get quarterfinals to a Gold Rush tournament underway to end the show. And, of course, the semifinals and finals. I haven't decided yet if we're going to do that right before or right after Glory Road. So just stay tuned for that, because it could happen Saturday. Sunday is Glory Road, but we could end up doing it Saturday. Finish the semifinals and finals, and then perhaps have an additional tournament to go with it to complete that show. And of course, that would also make Glory Road episode number 699, putting us one show away from 700. Man, whatever show that was, it would have to be huge. Championship matches all night long, no matter if it was Underground or if it was Wrestle Wars Genesis. But alright, let's get to the tournament. The Go Home Happy Gold Rush Tournament. Here we go. Let's have a look at those quarterfinals, and it is for the TWA Underground World Championship. We got Callie Carter taking on Blake Monroe. We were just talking about Callie Carter. That is Selena Price's partner in crime, former multiple-time champion, and currently one half of the reigning defending TWA Speed Tag Team Champions. Maxine Kitty from Team Honeybee Wrestling taking on Becky Lynch. Tessa James representing Dark Vengeance, and of course Mrs. Cross taking on Tiffany Stratton from Flawless Time. And of course Queen Dust pulling double duty tonight. She just lost her World Heavyweight Championship, but she is gunning for another World Championship as she takes part in this tournament against Thea Hale, of course the reigning defending Underground World Champion Nightshade from Team Sir Jack the Great, when she'll be riding the pine awaiting a challenger. Who's it going to be? We're going to find out, but let's get the quarterfinals started. It is Callie Carter from Team Ace Hunter and Ego's Paradise and Blake Monroe. Here we go.
I like Blake Monroe. She's a good mom.
She is, yeah. She is, I do agree. I do agree. Annoying as all bloody hell, I can hear somebody's backup beeper out in the parking lot somewhere. How dare they? How dare they interrupt the show and destroy our eardrums in the process. So 4 new champions today on Wrestle Wars Genesis. That was kind of crazy. Because our last Wrestle Wars Genesis, no championships changed hands on the last episode of Wrestle Wars Genesis. Which is a rarity, to be fair. It is a rarity for that to happen, but it did happen. This time, all of them, all 4 of them, lost their championships. Craziness. Craziness. But it was also crazy when Team Chelsea, Kenny Omega and Obafemi, toppled the longtime TWA Underground World Tag Team Champions, TDL. I don't think anybody saw that coming. I most certainly did not see that coming. I did not. Alright, I'm going to take a quick break. I have not done so all show, and I'm surprised nobody said anything about that. I'm sure you're all shocked that I have not had a break yet. But I just have to use the facilities. I see there's a lineup, so I'm going to drop kick some asses out of the way and get to that bathroom. They can get the hell out of my way. I got to go. My bladder is screaming, so I
feel when I need to.
I know, right? So I'm going to get that done.
Yeah.
Maybe collect a beverage along the way. But I'll be right back. Feel free to continue discussing either Premier League or something, and I'll catch up on the conversation when I get back. Moon Raider, don't bore Luke. Keep him in conversation. What do you want to talk about, Moon Raider? That's what you got to ask Luke. What do you want to talk about? Talk about Mickey James. In the words of Cody Rhodes, if you talk about Mickey James, there'll be no problem keeping that conversation going. But I'll be right back.
This woman's educated fists and feet are about to earn their master's degree in the underground. But it's not going to be easy, Corey. There's a difference between hitting someone hard enough for a 3 count versus a knockout. According to pre-fight interviews, she's increased her strength training as of late, so those strikes may have just leveled up for this occasion.
You think Barcelona could do this? Because it's 4-2 now.
She's been
a couple of rail back there.
I mean, they done this before under the likes of.
The rules are simple for the underground. No counts, no pinfalls, knockout, TKO, submissions. The only way to win.
On aggregate. They've done this to get to PSG in the round of 16 of the Champions League.
This is our underground match. The only way to win are by knockout or submission. Introducing first from Huntington Beach, California, the Devil.
I always thought that was his. I thought that was the one that
And of all the possible matchups in this tournament, I'd say we've got one of the best in front of us right now. I'll admit, my fingers crossed it would work out this way. This one has real show-stealing potential. Oh, a nasty stop to finish it off. She counters it.
Outside of like TWA,
just toying
like
with their
being
opponent right now, having fun at their expense, just mocking their opponent right now. Total disrespect, trying to get that mental edge, and you can't let yourself get psyched out. Right across the throat.
Doing the selling.
Looking to take the legs out, and now you have to protect that leg from further harm. You can't finish a match on one good leg alone.
Ice cream brand.
Corey, how would you prepare to face off against an opponent in an underground match? I would spend my time focused on my conditioning and practicing counters. Being able to withstand punishment and having an answer for every attack and hold will take you pretty far. And Sosa was coming there. Oh my goodness! And if the first dance doesn't send you the message, the follow-up ones definitely will. Lightning fast punches. You can see that each strike drained their opponent's energy. And she reversed it. Off the barricade. Got the leg and elbow drop. Wrestling 101. You can't stand, you can't fight. Ow! And she wisely heads back to the ring. Stops that offense from connecting. Ooh, boy, the attack with an active chop block. Gets out of the way of that one. Drop on insecurity. She countered that into her own offense.
Oh, good one, Stone Cold.
Up across the shoulder. Counter into the inverted DDT. And she just avoided some serious damage. Arm ringer.
Oh, good move.
Compromising position. Fighting back power, punches in the midsection. German suplex released.
In him.
Oh, that was just malicious. Kick to the cranium of their opponent. That's telling your opponent, you don't deserve to share this stage with me. And a to the gut, too. professionalism in an attack like that. Just mocking their opponent right now. Total disrespect. Driven right out of the post. What a stiff shot.
Yeah, I think that one, yeah, she's bleeding.
She drew first blood. Vicious arm stop. Unable to respond. She's just getting buried under this offense. Her odds are getting worse by the minute. And a series of vicious stomps.
She's on noodle legs, not looking good.
If this lands, it might be all over. That could end their night for good.
Alright, I have returned. What were you guys talking about? What do I need to catch up on? What do I need to know about? Barcelona? Who are they playing again? Okay. Interesting. I actually thought Barcelona might win that match. And they're down 4-2. Interesting. Interesting. Question of the show. I don't know how many times it's popped up. That's the first time I've actually seen it. Do you want to see Randy Orton win the WWE Championship at WrestleMania? Yes or no? I know I do, but I don't speak for everybody else. What is your? Would you like to see Orton win the WWE Championship, Moon?
I think I would.
Yeah. Luke, what about you? So the question of the show is, do you want to see Randy Orton win the WWE Championship at WrestleMania?
Yeah, I want to see Orton win the title. I like what I want to see him for longer.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, I want Orton to win a championship as well.
I know.
It's a bit of both. I want you to have the belt for longer though. That's the thing. It's a bit of both.
Yeah. Yeah, you get tired of seeing Drew McIntyre, the guy that probably should have a huge reign, be a transitional. He has. And he can always win it at SummerSlam or something. Either way. At the same time, I won't hate it if Randy Orton wins at WrestleMania somehow. You know, I'm guessing if it happens that somebody screws Drew. Right? That keeps Drew McIntyre in the championship conversation going into SummerSlam, right? So I feel like that would probably be a thing. It hasn't been made official, but... Oh, look at that! Holy shit. That is it. That is all, ladies and gentlemen. The winner of the match, and moving on to the semi-finals of this TWA Underground World Championship Gold Rush Tournament. Blake Monroe with a huge win over Callie Carter, who I assume would probably have been the favored one to win this matchup. I would have thought Callie would have won this match. She did not have the same luck tonight that Selena Price did, her partner in crime, who is our new TWA Women's World's Heavyweight Champion after Wrestle Wars Genesis. So Blake Monroe moves on to the semifinals. Wow. Okay. Oh, not that Blake's, Blake is really good, and it's not like she's incapable. I just thought that Callie might beat her. That was a good match though. Long match. A lot of underground matches don't go that long. I've seen underground matches that were every bit as quick as a speed match. As a matter of fact, we have a speed underground matchup. We do have a TWA speed underground matchup that we can bring to TWA Underground. If you're going to defend the title on Underground, you got to do it in extreme fashion. Why not have an extreme, or not extreme, why not have an underground speed match? Blake Monroe got cut when she hit that ring post earlier, I think, because she's got a gash on the top of her head there. But nonetheless, moving on to the semifinals. And here we go. We'll move on to our second quarterfinal matchup of the show. All right, Maxine Kitty from Team Honeybee Wrestling taking on Becky Lynch is next. One of these two Vixen villains, and I do mean villains. They are both top-notch villains in the women's division. To be perfectly fair, Maxine Kitty versus Becky Lynch is next. Who's going to move on to face Blake Monroe in the semifinals?
I expect Blake to actually win, though. Like,
no, neither did I.
I did not expect it to actually win.
I did not either. I'm totally shocked. Totally shocked. I thought Callie Carter would have picked up the W there. Callie's usually good under pressure with big matches. I just thought, but Blake Monroe was on her game. She was Callie put her through a test for sure, and she was resilient enough to get through it. So perseverance is everything, and that ended up being the case for Blake Monroe, I would say. All right, here we go. Matchup number 2 of the quarterfinals. It's go time. It is go time. Maxine Kitty making her way to the ring first. I licked it, so it's mine. Her wardrobe says. What minute of the match are Barcelona in right now?
They're in. I hope
Is it still 4-2? Is it? Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Becky Lynch, the Irish lassie, the man, big time Bex, taking on Maxine Kitty here. What do you guys think? Maxine Kitty or Becky Lynch moving on to face Blake? Maxine Kitty, okay. Of course it is. Damn announcer.
That referee there next to fucking Matt Rowland,
No, that's true.
because I think she lost one of her family members.
Oh, did she? Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. I didn't know that. Well, condolences to her family. No. It never is.
You're right, Saxon. These superstars have every intention of winning this whole thing.
Becky Lynch onto a quick start here. Okay. Oh, nice escape from Maxine Kitty there. Double underhook suplex. Returned the favor.
They'll be having, well, Lola Vice will be having an underground match
Is it?
The Vengeance Day next
Oh, busted Maxine open. Looks like the bridge of the nose. Hit the ring post there. Owie. It is Vengeance Day, yeah.
I don't care how tough you are. Hitting the floor from that height.
No injuries versus Ricky Saints for the NXT Championship.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Patsy for the women's title.
I would imagine Ricky Saints will somehow get that championship back, because Joe Hendry's probably going to Raw or SmackDown. If I had to guess. They won't leave him in NXT too long. I'm surprised.
Well, technically, Lola Vice is winning now.
You think? Yeah. That's an underground match too? Oh, okay. Gotcha. I like the underground matches. I think they should do them more often. They should have a separate division for it. That could be fun. It works for TWA. I mean, we have a whole show based around underground matches and extreme style matches. TWA Underground, of course. Maxine Kitty continuing to go work on Becky Lynch outside the ring on the concrete. Not the place either of them you would think would really want to be in this particular tournament, because it takes place in the underground arena. Oh, she missed the mark there. Nice evasion there by Becky Lynch. Fujiwara armbar locked in. Oh, nice escape and reversal by Maxine Kitty there. Big knee right to the jaw. Oh, takes her down. The disarmer locked in tight here. Wow, Maxine got out of that. Look at that. Maxine got out of the disarmer. Not many people get out of that. Usually once Becky locks that in, it's over. And Becky just had the favor returned to her, bounced her face off of the ring post. Didn't bust her open though. Maxine Kitty's got a big gash on the bridge of her nose from earlier when she met the ring post. Oh, right into the steel steps. Becky looking to wear her down. She's having a hard time controlling her, but if she can find ways to wear her down, like throwing her into steel steps, maybe even that metal barricade, if she was to think about it. Your stamina is everything. If you don't have the energy to put any power behind your moves and try to end the match, you're in big trouble. And again, Maxine Kitty gets out of a submission applied by Becky Lynch. Oh, slammed her face first off the metal barricade. Maxine Kitty. Oh, bounced the top of her skull right off that concrete. How is she not knocked out? And somehow Becky Lynch is getting back up. But that's it. The ref has called it. That is it. That is all. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match, and moving on to face Blake Monroe in the semifinals. Representing Team Honeybee Wrestling, it is Maxine Kitty getting the job done against Becky Lynch to move on in this Gold Rush tournament. Moves on, she does. Yeah, defeats Becky Lynch. 2 matches to go in the quarterfinals. 2 more entrants for the semifinals coming your way. See the gash on the bridge of her nose? That was when Becky tossed her face first into the ring post. Maxine, of course, returned the favor later, but did not end up busting open Becky Lynch, though. She might need some stitches on that bad boy. Tough fought matchup. I think Blake Monroe maybe had the easier of the 2 matchups. So we'll see how much gas is left in the tank of Maxine Kitty when she faces Blake Monroe. All right, here we go. 3rd match of the quarterfinals is next. Tessa James from Dark Vengeance taking on Flawless Times. Tiffany Stratton representing Team Hardcore Country Luke is our next match of the quarterfinals. And here we go. Who's going to get the job done? Who will be our next entrant into the semifinals? Tiffany Stratton or Tessa James? We're going to find out. 1/2 of Flawless Time versus 1/2 of Dark Vengeance. Of course, keeping that tag team rivalry ablaze as we head into this weekend's Glory Road. Episode 697 today. We're only 3 shows away from 700. It's crazy to think. 700 shows. We've done more shows than AEW. We've done more shows than WCW. Again, I still remember when we were playing on the first 100 show. The Hundo, we called it back then. And here we are, about to have episode 700 in 3 shows. It's crazy. It's been crazy fun, though. Crazy in a good way.
I wonder what episode 1 was.
I can't even remember. And I wouldn't have it on YouTube because back then Twitch was deleting random VODs and was eating up bits and pieces of shows below episode 100. So at that point I'm like, alright, that's it. And I took everything from the Hundo on and exported it to YouTube because I didn't trust them. We lost a lot of good matches because of YouTube. Or, I mean, because of Twitch. And their inability to allow people to store their videos on their platform.
She is ready to teach a hard lesson with her educated feet and fists.
But is what it is. There's a few other shows after 100 even that ended up getting deleted by Twitch. And they were newer than some of the ones they left on there. It was weird how they were doing it. I don't understand how they make the decision to delete certain VODs over others. But yeah, so it's been a little frustrating. I'm missing a few shows, that's for sure. But I don't even remember what episode 1 would have entailed. That's a long time ago. A long time ago. We would have had no title matches because we had the champion, and like, to start things out, we had the championships and tournaments. So the first show might have actually been, if it wasn't a regular show, it might have been a tournament. I don't know. I can't remember. You'd think I'd be able to remember that first episode, but then again, there were so many episodes that were way better than the very first episode, so there's that.
She saw that coming from Tiffany.
like the near 90-minute matchup between the Soul Man Jay Simmons and the Wolfman Alan Severn in season 1.
This one's heading to the outside. Back into the ring she goes.
It was crazy. It was crazy. It was a Falls Count Anywhere last man standing matchup, and they went everywhere. Backstage, Triple H's office, the hallways. They were in the back parking lot on top of a semi-truck trailer.
She's headed upside
On 12 minutes added time for this match. I have to pitch too much that.
Holy, why would they add 12 minutes?
101 minutes to play in here. Fucking hell. Like, this is stupid, this. I don't know, I didn't see anything worthy of 112 minutes of added time. You don't need to add that much time.
That's crazy.
So I'm thinking in my head, like, I'm not really been thinking about it. Like, I was on the phone, I just looked at the screen, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Stratton is now under pressure. Now we have to see how tough Tiffany truly can be. Cuts the attack off. She is looking to get back at this. Could be what Tiffany needed to ignite.
Oh, big back body drop onto the concrete. Just when it looked like Tiffany Stratton was going to take over the matchup. Nice counter. Ooh. Tessa eats the steel. Tessa eats the steel.
The universe needs to keep in mind is that once you compete in the underground, you're simply never
Yeah, that is weird.
rolls through, clever escape and knee.
It is definitely weird.
Tiffany finds the advantage. Now Stratton looking for some momentum. Stratton being tested was finally able to get some offense of her own.
Tiffany got some offense off there. Makes Tessa eat the steel again. I mean, if she doesn't walk into this match with a concussion, I don't know what would give her one. Wow. Cross body out of nowhere on Tiffany Stratton. But Stratton coming right back. Ooh. Alabama Slammer by Tiffany Stratton. Ooh. Buried her skull. Look at that. Tessa James getting right back up. She's like a monster. Yeah. The label lock locked in tight here. Tiffany's not tapping though. Tiffany did not tap. That's got to be frustrating if you're Tessa James. Most people would tap to that. Tiffany Stratton said, oh hell no. I am not tapping to that shit. Basement drop kick. And now just slamming the back of her head off the concrete. That's what I'm saying. Like, if Tessa James does not get a concussion from this, now she's busted open. Right in the forehead, I think.
I have a feeling this is only the start.
Oh, Tiffany Stratton getting nasty. Tiffany Stratton going beast mode here. Tessa James getting back to her feet. Kick Stratton off. Oh, look at that. Oh, buried her skull in the concrete again, did Tiffany Stratton. I don't even know if it's healthy for Tessa James to be fighting anymore tonight, much less win this matchup at this point. Oh, here we go. Another Alabama slam, and that's it. That's all. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match by TKO. The referee waved off the match. Tessa wasn't knocked out, but she was not allowing Tessa James to compete anymore tonight. The winner of the match, and moving on to the semi-finals of this TWA Underground World Championship Gold Rush Tournament. One half of Flawless Time, representing Team Hardcore Country Luke, Tiffany Stratton. It is Tiffy time in this Underground Gold Rush Tournament. So congratulations, Luke. That was a hell of a win for Tiffany Stratton, I tell you. Wow. Wow. That was pretty cool. That was a good match. All right, our final match of the day in this TWA Underground World Championship Gold Rush Tournament. Our last quarter-final matchup is next. Tiffany Stratton moves on to the semifinals. All right, but here we go. Moving on. Last match of the day, it is the Queen of TWA, Queen Dust, taking on Thea Hale. One of those Vixen villains going to move on and face Tiffany Stratton in the semifinals of this tournament. We already have Blake Monroe and Maxine Kitty locked in. Who's it going to be, Queen Dust or Thea Hale? We're going to find it right now. Showtime and go time for our final quarter-final match of the day. Here we go. Here we go. Then, as usual, Luke and I and Moonraider and whoever else decides to join will still be on the broadcast booth post-show. We just won't be live. But feel free to join us if you're able. We will be here. It has been a good show, yeah.
Excellent, that's nice.
Great pit stop on the way to Glory Road for this weekend. All right, here we go.
I know he said this at the start of the show, but I think my name's actually better as Hardcore Country.
Yeah, I think it fits. I think I like it better too.
Yeah.
I do.
Now I'm got more used to it.
Queen Dust likely a little upset and pissed off right about now. She, of course, on Wrestle Wars Genesis was dethroned, lost her TWA World's Heavyweight Championship to Selena Price, who was cashing in her contract case. We still have one contract case holder left. Luke the Gooner, of course, didn't cash in on his last championship attempt because he was already the #1 contender. So his contract case is very much still in play. Glory Road is this Sunday. I won't be surprised to see Luke the Gooner cash in that contract case and challenge El Grande Americano again. I mean, you could always cut a promo where Luke the Gooner is making it known that he plans to cash in on El Grande Americano. You never know. Whatever the Gooner wants to do. Is it really? Wow. Wow. And what minute of the game are they in? Wow. Oh yeah, there's still time, but you would think. That's what I said earlier. I expect them to win, but 0-0. Wowzers. Thea Hale looking to move on in this Gold Rush tournament. Thea Hale's never been a world champion. She would love to win that Underground World Championship. Queen Dust and Thea Hale. I mean, one never knows. I don't count out Thea Hale, but you're probably right. You're probably right. I'm not sure. I think he might. Yeah, I think he might manage Thea Hale. Yeah.
This first round match will help determine the landscape of the rounds to come.
Ooh, Queen Dust with a big kick right to the stomach off the hop. Nothing but leg work there. Counter though. Thea Hale with a jawbreaker. Oh shit! Wow, German suplex from the wood to the concrete. Wowzers. That was wild. That was wild. Oh, got the knees up, did the Queen. There's no way she's in a good mood right now. That is for sure. Thea Hale has her work cut out. She's up against a very angry Queen tonight. Very angry Queen. She just lost a championship belt. And she is not in a good mood. Stomping a mud hole in Thea Hale right now. Oh, another jawbreaker from Thea Hale. Wow. That was like a helicopter spin into a DDT. Good grief. Good grief. The athleticism on show there. Oh, busted open Queen Dust. Big knee to the face. Queen Dust getting back to her feet here, though. But Thea Hale, wow, back and forth at the moment, apparently. Neither one of them want to give each other the leverage. But Thea Hale just ate the concrete, literally. I mean, is she even awake? Wow. Again, somebody's letting go of a submission hold. I'll never understand that. Ooh, right into the steel steps. Right into the steel steps. Thea Hale, though, very quickly shook that off. Oh, look at this. A Kimura lock on Queen Dust. No way. I didn't even know Thea Hale did the Kimura lock. So that's interesting. That's interesting in itself. That is. I don't know. Well, I mean, everybody probably has a submission hold, but
yeah.
Whether or not they have many is another thing. Yeah. Oh, that is it. That is all. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match by knockout and moving on in this TWA Underground World Championship Gold Rush Tournament, Thea Hale, representing Team Infinite Oni. Yeah. And she will move on to the semifinals. Wow, see what I mean? I don't count out Thea Hale. And Queen Dust has had a very bad night tonight. Very bad night. Lost her championship, lost in the quarterfinals of the tournament. She is going to be one angry queen. Wow. Tiffany, yeah, she's facing Tiffany Stratton. Yeah. Wow. That was a great quarterfinals, too. Great quarterfinals. And we'll have a quick look at the semifinals. And again, we'll get to that. I don't know if I'm going to do it right before or right after Glory Road. Just stay tuned for that. But we will be finishing the semifinals and finals, obviously. The reigning defending champion Nightshade riding up the pine, waiting for a challenger. But we have Maxine Kitty and Blake Monroe is starting the semifinals off, and Tiffany Stratton versus Thea Hale in the second match of the quarterfinals. This is going to be one interesting semifinal. Very interesting. I mean, if Blake Monroe can beat Maxine Kitty, and then you got Tiffany Stratton and Thea Hale, I think Tiffany Stratton will probably beat Thea Hale. We might be looking at Blake versus Tiffany in the final.
Probably, that'd be cool, that.
is what I'm
I
thinking.
didn't expect Belair to get this far, to be honest.
I know, right? It's crazy. I actually thought Callie Carter would have won that match. I really did. I had a feeling Maxine might beat Becky Lynch, you know. Tiffany Stratton versus Tessa James, I was up in the air on that one because Tiffany and Flawless Time, they've been doing very well lately.
Do you remember that first match I claimed with Michelle McCall and she won the fucking championship?
Yeah.
It's just tough fucking she beat January, did you see that? I didn't even boost her or nothing.
I am, however, surprised that Queen Dust lost to Thea Hale, though.
I am actually surprised Thea Hale won that well.
I know. All right, but that is it. That is all for both Wrestle Wars Genesis and the quarterfinals for our TWA Underground World Championship Gold Rush Tournament. Episode 697 is in the books. We are only 3 away from 700. And, of course, this weekend, this Sunday to be exact, is TWA's Glory Road stream preview. You definitely don't want to miss that. It'll be action-packed and championship material-filled. It is going to be a spectacle and a thrill ride all wrapped into one, so you don't want to miss out on that. But it is that time of day. You don't have to go home, but you do have to get the fuck out of my channel. It is time to say goodbye. It is time to say goodbye. You got to go. 697 is over and out. Goodbye. Go home. Go to the mall. Go to the movies. Go shop for groceries. It doesn't matter. Just get the fuck out of my channel. Goodbye.